Welcome back, family, to another episode of Lancescurv. Just want to say, if you do not see us on social media anymore, you can always come to Lancescurv.com, Lancescurv.com. You know, these days there's a lot of censorship going on. Some people can talk about certain things and other people can't talk about certain things. And that's what they want to do. But you'll always be able to get the work on Lancescurv.com. Almost 22 years of work, almost 23 years of work, excuse me. And like I said, it's getting crucial out here in these streets. So we got to do what we have to do. On social media, it seems like we're slaves on the plantation and masters looking over us. So we have to sing the instructions on how we're going to break off the plantation if you haven't already broken off the plantation already. Well, today we're going to have a very touching subject, something that's very crucial that we need to speak about. Because lots of times we expect mothers to do the right thing and fathers, but it's something that's very special between a mother and a son. Yes, she carried him for 9 months, but a mother and a daughter, that is your first example of womanhood. That is your first template of motherhood. We refer back to our childhood lots of times, and things are supposed to be right. But oftentimes we have mothers out here who don't do the right thing. Oftentimes, and I've experienced, not in my own household with my mother, but I've seen it in young ladies that I've dated, people that I've known on different levels, from acquaintances all the way up to friendships. With that little girl or that young lady or that older woman, no matter what the chronological age, still feels the pain of an emotionally unavailable mother who also was emotionally abusive. Well, today we have Sister Robin. We've been talking for a while. She's here with us, and she's going to share her story. And it's going to be very therapeutic for her. And I told her that she doesn't have to hold back. This is your story, Robin. So as we talk and converse, and I'm going to let you talk as long as you want. There's no time limit on this. If you want to talk for 15 minutes or 15 hours, I'm with you. The longer, the better now.
Okay.
So I'm going to introduce you. Want to tell everybody about yourself?
Well,
You're a lovely lady. Thank you so much. Floor is yours.
Okay, Hotep family, collective people out here in Never Ever Land. This is my first attempt at, coming on and talking about some things that I've been repressing for 63 years. I'm 63 years old, and about a year and a half ago, I got church hurt. Okay. And it sent me in to myself. I went in. And what I mean by when I say go in, I start reflecting. And I realized that I had to go back and do some healing on Robin. Robin needed to know what it is to love, because I really don't think I ever experienced love other than giving birth to my 3 children. And even that, I question about love. But anyway, I went down this rabbit hole, and a question came up for me like, why is my heart so torn? Why is my heart so broken? Why do I hurt so much? Why did I let them meaning the men in my life, hurt me, break my heart, disappoint me, leave me to go at it by myself? All these questions blaming the men in my life, the men. But I had to go really, really deep, because my mother is the one who hurt me the most. The love that I needed from my mother was not given to me. And I made excuses for it all my life. She was only 16 when she had me. Oh, by the time she was 20, she couldn't, she didn't have it. She couldn't do it. Oh, I understand. Now, mind you, I'm a young girl trying to make sense of this shit. And it hurt. It hurt me to realize that my mother at 16, and by the time she was 20, had 4 children by her man who she was ashamed of. And when I say ashamed, it's because I felt it. I felt her shame. Only time she felt good is when she had enough money to dress us up and make us look cute and go outside. And we thought that was, we thought that was, oh, look, we getting dressed up, all these things that we don't understand that affects us and contribute to the makeup of who we are and who we become. And I was a child that repressed everything about who I was or who I was to become. It was repressed. And here I am at 63, crying, crying, crying for my mother. Don't get me wrong. I love her because I was taught to love her, regardless of who and what she did not give or wasn't able to give. I loved her in spite of all of that. But she broke my heart. She was the first person to slap the shit out of me in my face in front of somebody. That's humiliation. I was molested at 7, and I can tell you exactly the day that it happened because it was a blackout in New York City around the 60s. Okay, and I lived in Brooklyn, so I don't know if anybody out there out there can identify with that blackout that happened back then. But the
July
train
of 77.
it was no, it was in 77 was the second one, that blackout
Oh,
in
okay. Oh, the one in
77.
right, one in the
I'm
60s. Yeah.
talking about the one in the 60s because my aunt was down there. She got stuck down there. My mother, this is what my mother told me. I'm the oldest now, and it's 4 of us in the house, and there's a young baby in the house. So she says, Robin, do not open this door but for so and so and so. I can't even remember this man's name, but I know what he looked like. I can see his face today. I know how to describe him and everything. She said, you only open for him. And that's what I did. But this man took advantage of me. And I remember associating that with love. What he did to me, I thought was love. But I never told nobody that this man did this shit to me until I was like 12 years old. And
Oh no.
I told somebody because I heard them talking about a subject matter that this was about. And I said, oh, that happened to me. Like it just came out and they just looked at me and they said, what? And I told them, my mother knew exactly who the person was. But after that happened, there was no more conversation. There was no more healing. And that reminds me of being post-traumatic slave syndrome. That it's not stress syndrome, it's slave syndrome. That we was treated in a way and then told to go help get your shit together without tools to get your shit together. But we got our shit together, right? As Black people, we got our shit together because that's what I'm proud of, that we continued on and we persevered in spite of all the challenges and all of that. But to say that being that she was my mother, the concept of motherhood, the mother, even though she was 16, it's something that happens to you when you carry a child. You connect with it or you don't. Either you gonna get with it, and I mean, she didn't put us in we weren't taken from her. We weren't taking. My mother just had standards. She wanted the best of the best. She wanted us to look pretty. She wanted us to look nice because it reflect her. You don't understand at 4, being 20, and they got step kids, and everybody around you is older than you. That's embarrassment. That's a shame. And I carried that for her. You understand? I don't know if anybody's up there can understand how I'm feeling,
Right.
because my mother is 16 years older than me, and I'll be 64 in a couple of weeks. So she's 80.
Wow.
I don't want to hurt her, because what I have to say to her and what she did to me, because it was a continuing. It happened throughout my life. She placed me in situations that wasn't conducive for my growth, for my healthy growth. I got put out by my aunt at 18, okay? I was raped, molested at 6 and 7. I know what that feel like because I carried that soreness in my private area And I dealt with it by myself without telling anybody. The crust, the sore, the everything. I know how what it felt like with this. You know, I know what the sensation, I can feel the sensation.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom, it's like she couldn't, I don't know what it was. Sometimes, like a lot of people told me it was jealousy. And I never wanted to believe that my mother could be jealous. My mom is jealous of me. But things started happening, and it just validate what people were saying about why my mother do what she do. Your mother is jealous of you. Your mother, I'm like, what? Get out of here, But when this happened to me with these people in the church or the organization that you associate with to fill you up, religion and spirituality is two different things.
Yep.
And I think that's why I'm here today, is because no one taught me how to listen to the spirit. My soul and my spirit are two different things. My spirit is operating in the center of my gut, and I try to listen to her today because she was talking to me when I was little and no one paid attention to me, so I didn't pay attention to her. I didn't know how to love her, and neither did my mother. And to this day, I don't think my mother knows how to love me. I mean, not to say that she doesn't, but she doesn't know what I need from her. I don't think she ever knew what I needed from her, because it was never about looking pretty. I needed you emotionally. I needed you to build me up to be a spring that I can springboard off. But how do you springboard off somebody who's going through her own puberty? How do you springboard off of somebody who's still learning how to get to wherever she got to go? That's why I give her grace today. I have to. I have to give her the grace, because if I don't, I'm going to die. I'm going to die lonely and hurting. And I don't want to go out of this world not loving, or not loving my mother enough to love her enough to, to forgive her. It's just confusing. But I say all of
Yes.
that to say that, the Madonna, the Madonna and the child, the Horus and Set, the mother, that lap, the seat, the seat that you sit on as a baby, the lap of the throne, is your mother. It's your mother. That replica of a Madonna and a mother, that is so important. And most women don't even know. But when that happened to me, like I told you earlier, I said I had 3 kids. And I have to write them letters because I know I broke their heart. I had to. I didn't know how to do nothing else but break hearts because I was broken. How do you give from a broken heart? Even though I tried because I thought it was normal, but I had to apologize to my oldest daughter. I had to apologize to my youngest daughter. I had to apologize to my son. If I ever broke in your heart, know that it was not my intention. And I'm sorry. But can we move on from here? Can we agree if we don't agree, but we respect each other enough to disagree? I'm going to hear you out. I'm going to hear what you got to say. I'm going to feel you. Because today, my youth, my kids, when I look at them, I'm sorry for a lot of things. It's because of what I went through. It's because I didn't know how to give them everything. I did the best that I could. But you have to go back and make amends to that, especially when you're a mom. There's so many children out here that need the mother to tell them that I love you. I love you. I didn't call my mother mom when I was little. I called her by her first name. Joan. That's my mother's name. Joan this, Joan that. And then one day when I was little, I was like, why am I calling her that? Why can't I'm going to call her mommy. I made up in my mind that I was going to call her mommy. Not that she told me to do it. I did it because you my mother. But this is the dysfunction that we grow up in. This
Yes.
is the function, and this is not. It didn't begin with me. This is generational. Believe me, my family is fucked up. My family is fucked up. I'm detaching from them. until I heal myself enough that I can be around them and give them all the grace that they need. Because if I go around now, it's going to be an eruption. Because I didn't like it when it was happening then, and I don't like it that it's still happening now. And if y'all can't elevate me, if y'all can't get with my vibration and where I'm going, I can't be around y'all. I'm not coming to the family reunion just because to be the family reunion. What we doing? What are we doing as a family? This family is not healed. It's broken. It's dysfunctional. And the matriarch and the patriarch is gone. Grandfather, grandmother is gone. You know, those people, and even them, they didn't get it right. But you got to pay homage to them because they done crossed over. Whatever little bit that they can give me, I'm here to listen today because they wasn't saying too much when they was here. I mean, they wasn't giving too much guidance. I had to watch. So I'm an observer. I observe behavior. That's how I get by. I observe behavior. And that's how I did it all my life. But I always trusted in the Creator. I always knew that there was something more stronger than what's in front of us. I always trusted that God that they teach us that's the name of this force, God or Allah or Adonai, or all the other names that we have that they confuse us with, because the English language is magical. Is it's it puts us in a trance. Half the words don't mean what they really mean. So we be talking. We have to be very careful about how we speak to one another. But I think I'm getting off the topic because the topic is
No,
about
you
love.
flowing, you flowing, you
It,
flowing.
it, it,
This,
it's just it's just the
yeah.
mother. It's just the mother thing for me, because my kids is all that is God has given me. He's that He has blessed me with. I know. Okay, that's for sure. I know those three are mine. I know those three God He gave me them. So it's up to me to make sure that they're standing in their truth, not in the lie. Stand up in your truth. And I want them to know that I got their back. I ain't got to agree with it. And I may curse your ass out when you get home because you did it. But in front of the people, I'm going to back mine in a way that if they wrong, they wrong. And we'll deal with it. And we'll deal with it however we got to deal with it. But I needed to address my mother, and I cried for a long time because it hurts me. Because, I know she could have been a not that she's not, but I don't, sometimes I don't think our mothers wanted what they had, because she wasn't married when she had me, and she wasn't married when she had the other next three. So how much of that was love, or how much, you question how you was born, and you know, not to say that, she did what she could do. And I know it was painful for her. But her pain should not have been my pain at 6 and 7 years old. And I shouldn't have had to repress all the other things that happened to me because you wasn't there to protect me. And that's what I have to say about my mom. I love her. She's 80 years old today. I haven't really physically seen her since 2019, but I talk to her every now and then. But of lately, I've been just being quiet because I know that she's not going to give me the support that I need. And I'm tired of being hurt by some of the things that she said, because I really don't think she really know that she's hurting me. And I really don't know how to tell her that she's hurting me still to the day at 63 years old. But I want to leave it and let her be. And I want to get strength in my growth so that I can be. And hopefully,
Yeah. So do you think, well, I'm assuming you never had a chance to really sit down and talk with her, even about her upbringing, right? I just want to
It's
say that there's so many women out here and men, okay, but it's a similar pain, but it's slightly different. It's like you saying, I want to go to the restaurant and eat a hamburger, I'm hungry. And the person next to you saying, oh, I want to eat some hot dogs, I'm hungry. They're two different things, but they satisfied your hunger, which I'm not saying to eat those things. So with a young boy and a young girl that have that same distance from their mother, it affects the boys and the girls in overlapping ways. And because of the differences of the sex growing up in society, there's some slight differences or additions that the other sex doesn't feel. Look, let me tell you, Robin, there are a lot of women I talk to because of the shows that I have, and a lot of them open up to me on all kind of topics, but they pretty much are not ready to get on. I don't pressure them to get on, but the conversations I have with them have educated me beyond any book or degree. And oftentimes when I see this kind of thing go on, it's something with the mother that happened to her too. Not that she is excused for it, but on both sides, it's something we both have to do. See?
I
And
concur.
you have you're very strong, and you've come out of your own pain that you still feel to this day to say that you got to be above that while you are hurting. So for her and any mother who is like this, they've got to look within themselves and attempt to heal and stop these things, because it's going to affect the next generation. And it's affected you, like you said, to a point with your children where you had to write letters to them. This thing will keep on going down the generations unless we decide, hey, I got to stop this, whether you realize it or not, or your children remind you of it. So there are many people out here who are going through that. I know people personally who are going through it on all stages. So it's not something that's uncommon. And when you spoke with me and you said this is something you wanted to talk about, I said it's very important, and I'm glad you stepped forward, and I take my hat off to you for doing so. So
Well,
now, in your life, you know, career, coming up, adolescence, adulthood, young adulthood, getting to the point you're at now, could you explain the ways that this affected you, even though you went on to become a grown woman and successful in your career and everything? How does this thing still affect you so others can hear it and know that they're not all alone?
well, I like I told you from a very young age, I always had this sort of connection, like with the universe. Like I remember my first nightmare when I was a little girl. Okay, and my mother used to smoke cigarettes. She don't smoke anymore. She stopped a long time ago. But anyway, I had a dream about a moon, the moon of all things. The moon was sitting on my fire escape. It had like stick legs. I know I can see it, still see it. And it had lips. It was like a cartoon, but it was bright. It was shining. But she had a cigarette. And if she, it was a lady. It was a female attribute to the moon. Now
Right.
I'm a little girl. This is my dream when I was a little girl. And the moon started smoking cigarettes. She started smoking on a cigarette, and she had her legs crossed, and it was a half moon. But when she started smoking the cigarettes, the moon started slicing, like she started rippling, like she started slicing in half. And I got scared, I guess, and I woke up out of my dream. Now here I am, 63 years later, and I told you that a lot of downloads are coming into my head, music from my youth. But anyway, um the moon thing, I'm a Sagittarian. I'm a Sagittarius by fire. My sign is fire sign. But my moon is Pisces. My moon is myself, is my inner self. My moon is that person that I repressed all these years. So what I'm saying is that how the universe protected me to get to where I'm at so I can realize and reflect and connect dots for me. It's not for Joe Blow next, across the street. It's for Robin. That moon, my mother's a Pisces. My mother was born under the Pisces sign. My mother was born with a veil over her face, but she's scary. She's scared of her own self. So when you ask me what happened, like if anything happened, what I had to do for me, I had to keep going. I had to say, it's gonna be okay. I've been telling myself you're gonna be okay from a little girl when I couldn't go outside to play because I ain't have sneakers. Only thing I
Right.
had was a pair of patent leather shoes from Easter, and it's here we are in August, and I ain't got no sneakers to go outside and play with everybody else. So I got to sit on the side with patent leather white shoes on as a little
Wow.
girl. But what I'm saying is that all these feelings I had to deal with and learn how to medicate. I don't know what I was doing, but I was medicating. I've been medicating myself, whether it was self-talk, whether it was just dealing with it and hoping for the next day. Again, I rise, the sun to come out tomorrow, whatever the hell I had to say to myself to keep myself going, you know. I had to keep myself going. I had to keep saying, Robert, even when I cry, I'll be like, God, when, create what's going on? I'm hurting and I'm a cry until because crying is cleansing for me. It's something that has to come out because I ain't saying shit, so it gotta come out some kind of way. you know, I ain't talking about it to nobody, especially to the people that really need to hear it, because I don't
Right.
want to hurt nobody, because I don't want to hurt nobody like they hurt me.
But
And sometimes I gotta learn how not to do that because
right.
I've been sacrificing my feelings all this time for everybody else to be okay. And I'm over here dying.
This is what I'm trying to say, right? You do realize that you don't have to carry that burden to be the one who keeps the peace. You see what I mean? Like, you have so much love inside of you to be so considerate, to not want to hurt other people's feelings in your circle, but you can't carry the bag the whole way.
But I'm
It's
not
like,
car- but I decided to not carry the
good,
I'm accepting that they hurt me, but I'm
right?
also accepting that it's better for me to love you from afar. I don't have to be up in your face or be around the corner or be in the same city to love you. Okay? Love can reach across many oceans. You ain't got to be up on it. And I offer that to the person that mean that much to me, and that's my mother. My mother is the person that mean that much to me because because I understand her pain. I do understand it. I can understand even if something happened to her that she don't want to talk about. I can understand it, but I can't make her tell me what she need to say. She need to come to that. I've been in therapy. My mother hasn't. I've been talking to people, even though they didn't fucking help me.
Mhm.
I've been in therapy for the past 20 fucking years, to tell you the truth. And I just stopped looking at these motherfuckers because they're gonna make a book about me. That's what the hell they gonna do. They gonna take notes and then go out and write a goddamn bestseller about me. Cause I done divulge all my pain. Y'all can't help me because I have to help me. Y'all can't know this pain because y'all don't know what it is. Y'all can identify with it, but you cannot know it like I know my pain. So when you ask me how, I've been telling Robin, get up for a long time. Even when she hurt, get up. Go outside in them patent leather shoes. Just don't go run down the street. Stay on the stoop. Stay on the stoop so nobody can see the patent leather shoes. That was too
That's not
small.
funny, but I know why you have to laugh at it in your
It,
healing. I understand.
it is. It's not funny, but it's, when you look back, shit, I was out there on that stoop acting like an old woman sitting there on the stoop with patent leather shoes on. And the only reason why I was sitting my ass down is because I couldn't play in patent leather and they was hurting.
Mm.
But I saw my mother's pain from a little girl. And when I say a little girl, when she sent me to the store to get something for her, I went to the store. I'm gonna say this last thing, and you can ask me what you want afterwards. But I went to the store. It was a drugstore. It was right across the street from where we lived. And she sent me over there to get something. Anyway, I went into that store, got what she got, and walked out there with this. I stole something, but I stole I stole something from my mother. And I went and gave it to her.
Oh.
And she said, you take that right back to the store. I was
Wow.
like, what? This little 6-year-old girl, you take that right back to the store and give it to you go to them, go give it back to, I was so I had to go all the way back to the store and take that. My mama told me to bring it back because she told me I should.
You must have been scared.
But she didn't go with me. She didn't go with me to explain this is what my daughter did. She let me face that shit by myself.
Mm-mm.
At 6 years old. And then they turned around. You're too grown, but y'all give me the responsibility like I'm grown. So why I can't talk to y'all like I'm grown? You know what I'm saying? Y'all putting me in these positions, these like grown up positions, like getting on the bus and going 25 minutes on a bus with my two sisters, my little brother and little sister at 7 years old to go to my grandmother's house at 7. Why am I on the bus, on the 44 bus in Brooklyn, going to my grandmother's house in Williamsburg by myself with my two little sisters? But she knew I knew how to get there. But that's a lot of responsibility, don't you think? It's a lot of responsibility to hurt for somebody else at 7. But you know what? She wasn't no older. She was only 16 when she was 21. So
Wow.
when you ask me how I survived, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor mode. I'm a survivor about myself, even though when I wasn't saying nothing, I'm a survivor.
Oh, you definitely are that for sure.
You know,
For you to
but
speak about it,
I want to
definitely.
live. I want to live, though. I want to live. I really do, because I don't have a malicious bone in my body. I don't go out of my way to plot or do things to hurt people. That's not who I am. I ain't got time for that bullshit to make sure or try to think of ways to hurt you. But I lived in a household that people did that shit. They did shit to hurt you and then try to hide their hand and act like they ain't do nothing. You know?
Yes,
When
so
you run,
terrible.
when you run in the house, it's up to you to run your household. When you don't run your household, it goes crazy. It's chaos. Just a little. Even if you let it lack a little bit, it's chaos. Shit happens, and somebody is gonna suffer from it. Somebody. And I was a scapegoat in my family. I was the oldest, so she had kids, and I was pushed further and further. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She forgot about me, but I still was that one. I was that one she called every morning. I was her right hand. I was that one. But she did not do enough to protect me emotionally, physically. She didn't do it. She didn't. And I just went about life thinking that I wasn't enough for nobody. I didn't have a lot of friends. you know. And then you know what? I looked at my birth chart, you know. You do
Mhm.
or do you look at do you do your your birth chart and everything? Do you
Well, to be honest, I've never had to really do it because so many people know my birthday. They just send it to me.
oh
I got
okay.
hundreds of them, but I know
Oh,
what you mean
okay.
though.
But I'm just saying that when I looked at my birth chart, because I never did. I never really did, but I always was attracted to numbers, like the zodiac, and because a lot of it is related, you can relate it in cross reference to the Bible. There's a cross, there's a cross reference to it, and if you look at the wheel, it's a lot of stuff that I'm just opening. My mind is opening up to, and it just make it make sense. It's just it's like connecting dots for me. And it's happening in real life. It's like it's happening now at 63 years old. Not that 63, I don't want to get hung up on that number because as long as it happens, it happens. But
Yes.
I've been on this for a long time. I just was not listening to Robin because everybody tell you to listen to your head instead of listen to your gut. And your gut got more for you than what your head do because what they put in your head is a lie. What they teach you, most of this shit is a lie.
Mhm.
But how you feeling, you ever felt something and you don't know how to say it? And then maybe years later you understand and somebody say something and say, oh shit, I got it.
Mhm.
You know? One of my aunts, she tried to embarrass me when I was a teenager. And she introduced me to a boy. I must have been, it was before I graduated high school. So I was 17 and this boy to her was cute. It was, he was cute to her. Maybe she liked him. Shit, I don't know. He was
Mhm.
younger than her. So, let me introduce you to my niece. You know how that go, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I meet him. And you invite him over, you invite me to your house. I come in your house. And this boy, I'm just sitting there being a teenager. She gonna get cute and talk about Cinderella, trying to embarrass me because it's 12 o'clock.
Oh, damn.
It's 12 o'clock and she want him to go home. This your fucking house. Why you don't tell the nigga go home? You invited him over here to meet me. Anyway, then after she leave, this is one thing she said to me, and Lance, when I was 17, I looked at her like, what the fuck is this lady saying? She said, too much too soon is like too little too late.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? But you know what? I know what that shit mean today. And it's one of my favorite lines. Too much too soon is like too little too late. Don't come to me with the bullshit. Don't come to me with nothing. But I still love my mama. Even in all her, but I just can't. And I think she knows. I think my mother that I know that how she treated me was fucked up because she stays her distance, you know? You know how some mothers call their daughters? That ain't my mom. Because I don't know how to curb my tongue sometimes. And I don't want to say nothing to hurt her. But I have a young family. My mother was 16, so her siblings. But I grew up in a house there was 13 children from my grandmother in the house already. She didn't have the other two yet, but there was 13 in the house, including my mother. And then but I had to I just knew I wanted better for myself. I wanted better, but I don't know. I'm still looking for better, but I'm satisfied. I'm not I'm not I'm not where I want to be, but I know I'm going to get there. I know that I'm going to make sure that my children, even though they're grown, I want to feel like if I die, whenever I do, that they're going to be all right. Even if they go before me, I don't know. Whatever. I just want to know that they self-sufficient. If I
Right.
know that they self-sufficient, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. That I don't love no one more than the other. I love y'all all, but y'all all need from me differently, and I recognize that. But I had to tell Robin, you cannot give up on yourself. My father wasn't in the picture, so, you know, I had a make believe daddy. Even though she had a, my mother did marry, but it wasn't my father. And the guy who became my daddy in my mind, he was, I don't know if you remember the show called The FBI.
Yeah.
That show, FBI, with Zimbalist, I think one of the white guy name was
Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.
Junior, right? You remember the black
I
guy?
remember.
You remember the black guy? The
Yes.
black, that was my daddy, okay?
Right, right. He
That
was the
was
placeholder.
he was the black guy on the show, and
Hmm.
that's who I identified as my dad. As a little girl growing up, I imagine him with the cross references that because I became a police officer.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Go figure.
Wow. Well, I wanted to ask you about that also. You know, that's a demanding job. And we know those atmospheres can be quite sexist. We know those atmospheres can be quite racist. I personally know many police officers, especially New York police officers that are retired and some still in the force. You already had this sense of being hollow on the inside because of what your mother never gave you, but yet and still you had healthy ways of coping with it. From what you tell me, you've never been into the drug abuse or never been into the alcoholism.
Oh, I
So,
have. I
oh,
have.
okay, okay. We're gonna talk
Oh,
about that too. Okay, well,
oh,
we're gonna talk about that too. I just want okay, that's more. I didn't even know. That's like me not seeing the full menu. Oh, you got that on there to offer. I want that one too.
yeah.
So in that, in that, so I gotta rephrase it, but no, I'll keep it the same way. But in
No.
that,
Mm-hmm.
how 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 did you deal at first with the inner challenges that you possessed at that time, which still sting now, but it had to be amplified more because you were much younger and now you're in a better place that way. How did you go into such a demanding situation, dealing with the public, dealing with your own coworkers, dealing with protocol, dealing with the academy?
You
Did
know
you
what?
prove something to yourself when you completed the academy? Was there doubt as you went into it? And on the job, how did it affect you in your interaction with coworkers in public?
Okay, so 23, I went in to the organization at 23. However, I worked for the police department prior to being a police officer. I was a civilian. So I was around police, that the presence of the police department, but civilian worker. I became a police officer at 23. And I'm going to tell you this, I went in scared, okay? Because when I went for my first interview, and I remember the guy who I talked to, and I told him, I said, I don't know if I want to do this because this is a dangerous job and I'm really scared. And he said to me, he said, you have nothing to fear but to fear God. That was my that's how I made my decision to go on to the police department. But I went in as a transit police officer, not a regular NYPD officer. So what that means is that
I
during that
understand.
time, huh?
No, explain it for everybody, but I understand because
Yeah,
I was in New York City at that time also, you know, in that transition, you know, before it actually. But go ahead.
yeah. But it was housing. They had their jurisdiction. Transit had their jurisdiction, and the NYPD they was all operated. They all had their own chiefs, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we had to go to NYPD. Everybody, housing, transit, and NYPD. We did most of our training at the police academy, but then transit and housing had to go extra. They had to go to the academy because at one time we trained separately. But when I became a police officer, everybody went to NYPD and trained, and then we went and got our extra training separately after we graduated. So we had to do extra. How did I deal with it with the sexism and all of that shit? Because I didn't know. That's how I dealt with it. When you're naive, you don't know. So you deal. You just be like, oh shit. It's like, oh shit. But racism wasn't something that I dealt with. I knew about. I mean, I knew black and white, but not like how I learned it in the police department.
Tell
Because
us.
23, going through the police, I'm going to tell you something. I didn't even know that I was a secret weapon. I didn't even know my own attractiveness. I didn't even know about fetishes. I didn't even know about half the shit. And I had a baby, okay? I had a little girl that was 3 years old. That was one of the main reasons why I became a police officer, because I wanted to give her more than you know what I'm saying? I wanted to
Right.
take care of my
Right.
child because wasn't no fucking body else doing it. That's what I wanted to do. I went into the police department and I realized what sexual harassment was right there in the academy. Okay? When I was running, they said something about my breasts.
You mean
You need to get a better bra. You need to get a better bra. Your breast in front of everybody now.
the men?
The,
The
the,
men are saying
the,
this?
the instructors, the men instructors.
So they're bringing attention to your breast. That's obviously you're a woman. You're going to have titties. I mean, like, what's wrong with that?
Exactly. England, you need to get a better breast. Your breast is jumping up and down. I was like, oh my God, because that hurt me because my mother, again, bring me back to my mother. When I started growing breasts, she never bought me a bra. So when I used to go outside and play, the little boys, one little boy, Robert, why you always jumping up in your titty? Your breast is jumping up and down. Stuff like that.
Right.
So when he did that, he caused attention to me. But I couldn't jump out the line and not run. I had to continue to run it. When I did push-ups, this is my first time going at a rigid exercise.
Regimen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first time. I mean, when I came out, I was like a fire hydrant. I mean, I was built. I was, I was tight. But I'm doing push-ups, and this motherfucker coming up to me. What you doing? Get up off the floor. What you doing? You having sex with the floor? Get up off I mean, what kind? Brothers behind me. I'm doing squat thrusts, and they even, damn, she do a mean squat thrust. Shit
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
We working out, and this motherfucker made sure, this nigga used to make sure he line up behind me because he wanted to see me do my squat thrust.
Mm-hmm.
But I still went through all of that, and then I went to Transit Academy, and these motherfuckers operate on a whole nother different level because they get away with shit that they couldn't get. They probably would never get away with NYPD. You understand? Because they own little shit. It's just like any other organization. Everybody, the rules may be supposed to be the same, but how they administer and how it's getting out is different. It's like every church you go to, every church has its own energy, right? So it's certain things was happening. Like there was one person. Now, first coming into the police department, I don't know these people. I'm coming in, trying to work, learn. Men coming in. One man, he wasn't even. They resigned him. He was a retired sergeant, but he used to always come up to the Transit Academy, and he singled me out. This nigga used to come out and find out where I was at on patrol. I'd be on my going doing my work, and all of a sudden he pop up. I'm like, what? How you know? You know what I'm saying? These people were relentless. But I didn't know. The women was even. Don't be beautiful and not know you beautiful, because when you maybe it's good that I didn't know I was kind of cute, because all of them should have got my ass to kiss. Every last one of them. I had one sergeant call me up at my house and tell me how he wasn't even a sergeant, he was a lieutenant, how sexy I was, how he wanted to have oral sex with me. I was like, oh my God, are you a lieutenant for real? And he was like, that enemy talk. This is what men was doing.
And he didn't fear any retaliation, like for sexual harassment. I mean, I'm taking it that you kept your relationship professional before, so he just came out unwarranted and just called you in your private residence, your private phone.
My private residence. I was living with my mother. He called my mother's house, telling me how he wanted to eat this and eat. And I ain't never heard, I was a prude. I was prude even though I had a baby. Even though I had a baby.
That was a shock.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, what? Then one day I came to work, Lance, and they had pictures of my damn feet. They took pictures of my feet. I had wore sandals, it was summertime, and I took pictures and put it on the front at the desk on the
foot fetish. Unbelievable.
Yes, I didn't know I didn't know. They said it's a foot fetish. I said a foot fetish. I'm 23. I'm 23 now. I don't know this shit. I don't know. But I was fucking. I was out there fucking. Had a baby.
Right.
I ain't know. People thought that I knew. I ain't know shit. I didn't know. But this is what I was going through.
That's terrible.
Okay. The men. I mean, the women wasn't my friend. But when I was trying to tell you about the chart, about my birth chart, you have 12 houses, right, on the chart.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that, like in my friend chart, and on the chart where the friend zone is, I ain't got no signs over there.
Wow. I
ain't got no signs in that house. So my friendship thing is like I had a problem with being friends with people. I don't have a lot of friends. But these women, people knew about me. I worked in Brooklyn, and people in the Bronx knew who I was. They was talking about me in the Bronx. How the fuck y'all know about me in the Bronx? People wanted to know who I was.
So you were working in the Bronx and you were living in Brooklyn?
I lived in Brooklyn and I worked in Brooklyn. I worked off of Fulton Street, Skimmerhorn Street. That was where my command was when I first started.
I don't know if you could tell what precinct it is, but
I'm gonna say what precinct? Oh God, it might be the 7-8s, 7-5s, because it's Brooklyn. 7-5 is Bed-Stuy, but anyway, my district covered. I was listening to one of your. It's funny how you mentioned on one of your conversations about the A train that you had to ride. And when you was talking about it, it took me back to me on the A train. Now, I didn't know the A train going towards Queens, like going across that damn water.
Right.
Okay. I never took it that way. I took it the other way. But I was a transit officer, right? And I never had the A train line for about a year. I was at that command. And I told somebody that they never, I never had the A line. Not that I wanted it, because I ain't want to drive over that damn water. Don't you know, the next day, whoever I told that to, they went and told somebody else, and they put that ass out there on that A train. I had to ride that A train by myself all the way out to the
Rockaway.
The Rockaways, honey.
Rockaway and Rockaway Park. And see what it is that you have the one that that goes to Rockaway and Rockaway Park, because when it hits Rockaway Boulevard, which is 3 stops before Lefferts Boulevard, I grew up on that line, right? You have one that goes to Lefferts and one that turns and goes to Rockaway. And one goes up and the other one stays steady. And that's how you can tell. You know how? Because when I'm coming home from Brooklyn or Manhattan, when I take the A train, because I could take the E train too, depending on what part of Manhattan I was in.
Right.
You better make sure when you're going and you come out of Grant Avenue and you go up on the on the elevated line, that when you get to Far Rock, or when you get to Rockaway Boulevard, right there by White Castle, they make an announcement. This is a Lefferts Boulevard train.
Exactly.
Or this is a Far Rockaway Park train. Ding, ding. You know, I can't forget the sound. But if you fall asleep, there are times I never really fell asleep, but there are times I dozed. I might have been tired, and I ended up taking the wrong A train. And you open your eyes and you're going over that water, down Cross Bay Way and all of that. And you got to do, if it's late at night, it's cold out there in Far Rockaway, and you do the round robin. You got to know about that. Rockaway Park, Far Rockaway. And that one train goes all the way to one side, right by the beach. You look out, you see the water, and don't let it be January or February.
Good.
You got, and those doors open, you can't sleep. It's so cold. See, and then you got to go all the way around and come back. So they put you on that line. Hopefully it wasn't for long, and hopefully it wasn't for the wintertime. Trust me, I know.
It was wintertime, and it was people who was just jealous. People who just was mad because they had to do it, you know. And these is men. And when you talk about, you know, you have another thing about men being covertly jealous of the women. You know, I'm gonna tell you, I had when I came in the police department, my hair was long. You know, I wasn't attractive, but I had something else on my mind. I came here to fucking work. I ain't come here to get all this sexual education, all this bullshit that y'all doing. One man followed me out of my command, grabbed me by my neck, by my collar, and tried to stuff his tongue down my throat.
Wow.
And I bit the shit out of it. And he said, what? I said, the next time you fucking try it, you lucky. Don't do it. I mean, I've been grabbed by my collar, and I'm like, who the fuck you think you putting your hands on me? Don't touch me. He said, I'm not your fucking husband. And I said, I'm not your fucking wife. Don't fucking touch me. I mean, the sexual harassment that I encountered, I was a fighter. I'm telling you right now. They made me feel uncomfortable. I was not sitting in your fucking office while you jerk off behind your desk. Okay?
Are you serious?
Let me tell you something.
Man. Look, I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying, this is crazy.
They sit you, you know, they don't like you. They want to come up to you. Oh, you know, one Italian sergeant, you know, he looked like he looked stupid. You look stupid. Luckily, you know a little bit about the law that you can teach it, because you couldn't sit in my face, to tell you the truth. He wanted to take his hand and put it out to me and said, look, we almost the same complexion. An Italian sergeant. Okay. I said, yeah. I said, because of what was his name? Was it Hannibal who went up in there? Hannibal? Yeah. I said, well, thank Hannibal for you that you got your complexion. Okay, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone. And his little stupid ass, he got mad because I told him that, and then he went and told his supervisor, was a lieutenant, and he gonna call me in his office. Now I go in the office. He gets in behind his desk, so he gonna sit behind his desk and move back in his chair and open his legs and gonna rock back and forth trying to talk to me. And I'm like, so, you know, what we're not gonna do is, I'm not gonna sit up here and you making me feel uncomfortable and think I'm gonna sit here and listen to you. I'm not doing it. And I just got up. And be the
object of this twisted lust.
Yeah, and I just got up and I was out. I went and hid in the closet some fucking where and make them look for me. They tried to suspend me for 7 days without pay. And I went to court. And they said, well, you know, you get you know, they give you the lawyers. I said, that's a conflict of interest for me. He can't speak for me because he working for the people that I'm fighting against. He can't represent me. So I got me on my own lawyer. And even though I was suspended, I didn't get suspended for 7 days. I got suspended for 4 days.
Wow.
But my thing is, these people, I made these people, they was looking at my, I mean, I didn't understand it. I really didn't. It was just, I didn't understand what was happening. You know, I be sitting in the room and everybody's supposed to be working. I look up, is one white boy looking at me, and I looked up and I caught him staring at me. And I'm like, what are you looking at? He said, I wish I can know what's going on in your head. I said, what? You want to know what's going on in my head? You looking at me that goddamn hard. You want to know what's going on in my head? Why? Prompt people, I'm waiting for the bus stop. One sergeant, he know damn well he didn't want supposed to be getting on that bus. He got his ass right on the bus with me. He got off a couple of stops later. I'm just saying. And you know, when I came a police officer, you know, crack was was out there. Everybody was doing it, even the police officers. Okay,
Are you
so
serious? I mean, I heard, but
yeah, it was a mess. It was a mess. It was a messy. Okay,
I know they were out there messing with prostitutes. Some of them, not all of them. I know some good guys.
that was one of my questions that they asked me as for my psych eval. How did I feel about prostitution? That was one of my questions. And I said, I don't have no problem with them. It's the oldest form of making money. And if you got to make money and that's what you got to do, I ain't got a problem with it. I mean, not that that's not something that I would want to have to do, but I can understand it. I can understand it. But they retired me. I didn't put in my papers. And have you ever heard? Do you remember the Haitian brother? It was a Haitian brother, huh?
The one who was abused by the cop.
With the nightstick.
Yeah, Abdou Diallo.
Okay.
Was it Diallo? Yeah, I think it was. Oh no,
I
he
don't
was
know
when he
what.
was shot.
I don't know. I forgot what the brother name that they did that to.
Yeah,
But
let me see.
I was on restricted duty when that happened, and they were going in back and forth, and people was trying to find it was the nightstick. It was a night. Anyway, to make a long story short, I'm sitting at my desk, and there's a white boy that comes up, and he pulls out this broken nightstick, and pulled it up in front of me.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Abdou Diallo. That was one. That was one who had got shot 41 times. I got the names mixed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. But go ahead.
But this Haitian one, they rammed him with they molested SNA him with a nightstick.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this white boy thought it was funny and held up in front of me a broken piece of a wooden stick and asked me, was this the missing piece that they was looking for?
Oh, snap.
And I wrote that ass up.
Right.
I wrote a complaint against him. Don't you do that shit. We're not doing that. We not. And you know what they realized? They said, we can't fuck with this bitch. We got to get rid of her. And they did it. They put my papers in. I didn't get no farewell. I ain't get no party. They kicked me to the curb. But I did get my pension.
Abner Louima is his name.
Yeah, that brother.
Abner Louima. Yeah.
Yes, him.
Justin Volpe was the cop.
Yes. And it was a whole group of them. Okay. When I wrote that shit up, I wrote it up and I sent it to the complaint review board. Do what y'all gotta do because this little motherfucker, he lucky I ain't punch him in his face. Don't do that. It's the same thing they did when OJ won his trial. I was in a car with a white Italian. Let me tell you, when they heard that fucking verdict, they could not hold back. They was mad.
They ticked off. Mm. I don't know if you hit the mute button,
And it's a
sister, but
constant.
you're
It's
still
like a,
on, but I
huh?
don't hear you. No, I thought you might have hit the mute button by mistake.
It's like they tell you, like one of the white girls told me, I never heard, I never really understood, I never used the word nigga before. I said, well, you sure you know how to use it in its right context with somebody that don't know how to use the fucking word. You sure know how to use it in the right sentence and shit. The fuck you talking about, bitch? You know, I cut off all my hair. Let me tell you, I went bald, girl. I went bald. And after I went bald, I started locking my hair. While I'm on patrol minding my damn business, here come a brother, gonna come up in front of me. And no, now this is after I got 10 years on the job, so I ain't got time for half of y'all. So don't come up in my face with none of your bullshit. He gonna come in, he said, you don't get enough, do you? Now you gonna go lock your hair, you ain't causing enough problem. I said, if you don't get out my face, don't come in my face. This is the type of shit that you deal with people. And that's why I know that it was more than one person, more than one people that got me out of that department. I didn't get no variable supplement. I was 3 years short of retirement. They didn't want to give me no variable supplement. That was another paycheck besides your pension that you're entitled to after 20 years. But yeah. So how I dealt with that, I drank. I was taking medication, prescription medication, because you can't do nothing else in the police department. And then, when I got really, when I tell you that the universe responds and give me what I need, that's what happened to me. I went to rehab.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I had a part of saying it. I needed help. I really did. I really needed help. And I was thrown, and that's why I say it was during the crack era, because I was thrown in with drug addicts, heroin addicts, crackheads, alcohol, and hear me coming in here, police officer. And I get in front of a group and I don't want to talk to nobody because I don't have a problem. You know what? I'm not an alcoholic. I knew I needed help, but I wasn't an alcoholic. You can't, them people in that circle was all women. They said, you're not coming up in here acting like you, Miss Missy, Miss Missy. Who you think, the girls gave it to me. And I was like, I said, I cried. I was in a fetal position all night. Them girls loved me back to normal. That's how I was broken. That's when I knew that my healing was starting to begin. But I didn't pay attention to my gut, what my gut was trying to teach me. I just kept repressing, everything that I should have been dealing with. I just kept repressing it. I just kept repressing it because I needed to keep going to work, because I needed to keep taking care of my kids, you know? So
Right.
I couldn't deal with certain things, but I knew enough to knew that I needed help to understand what was happening to me with these prescription pills that they was giving me, the Valiums and all of that shit, and then the Hennessy and all of that I was drinking just to numb it, just to
Right.
get through. And then I was a party girl, so the music was also healing for me. Music is very healing for me. That's
Almost
how
definitely.
that's how I heal my soul, is I listen to old music. And sometimes the old music, you wonder why you liked it back then. You understand why you like it today. Because it says something to you and it's speaking to you in a way that you can really understand. You know, you can hear, I don't know. I don't even understand it. It's just crazy. It's really crazy because me calling you, Lance, is a cry, for real. It's a cry for me to really stop procrastinating with yourself. I know I'm doing a good job with being with myself, but I've been by myself for a long time. And I don't want to be by myself, you know? But I don't want just anybody to come in because I'm guarded. I don't want people to hurt me no more. I don't want to be hurt, and I'm not trying to hurt nobody. So, yeah, alcoholism, and it's something that's in my family too. Drug addiction. I was always afraid of drugs because of my father being addicted to heroin. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's a rough road to travel, whether it's self or a family member. As many people know here, my brother has always been into substances, my older brother. So I understand a little bit about that, and the emotional repercussions of
But
yearning to
you,
have a normal relationship with them, and they're out there doing stuff, and it leaves a void for sure. Nothing good comes out of that, no matter what the substance, you know.
when I went to rehab and I
Hmm.
needed somebody to come and hear me speak when I first spoke something at an AA meeting or something, I invited my father.
Right.
And although he came, but my father was ashamed. But you know what? I loved him. I didn't know him very well, but I loved him. I loved him because I loved him because he needed to be loved by somebody, just like I did. And my father was left in the morgue in 2019.
Oh,
Nobody wanted to bury him.
oh, sorry to hear that.
So me and my sisters, well, I flew to New York and, you know, we went and got the body. He was married.
Mhm.
He had an ex-wife. He had another daughter, but they didn't bury him.
Oh, man. So he was
He
destined for what, Potter's Field?
Yep. So that was the last trip that I made to New York, and everybody in my family, well, why you burying? Why you? He's my father. If nobody else is going to do it, what? And this is where I say I can't speak to my mother and her family because y'all want me to hate something that I don't know, but I feel. And what I feel is empathy for him because he's my father. I don't know his story. I don't know what got him hooked on heroin. From what my understanding, it was my mother's friends who got him hooked because he was a Southern boy. So I loved him, and before I left New York, he used to watch. I know he was watching me, but he never let me know he was watching. You know what I'm saying? You know how somebody is watching you and they just keeping an eye,
Hmm.
but from a distance. You don't know that they doing it, but he would show up, and we didn't know he was there around. But he was hooked. He was into the heroin and cocaine. That was his thing. But he's deceased. I went to New York in June of 2019, and yeah, we buried him, and we went to the same funeral parlor that we buried my brother, which was his only son. So
Wow.
yeah, my thing with the police department, I didn't I just left, but I was hurt. I was hurt what they did to me because a lot of people was sitting back watching me fall from grace. At least that's what they thought. I had just bought a house. I think I lived in my house for like a year and a half before they retired me. So you imagine, like I was like, what the hell am I going to do? How am I going to do all of this? But like I wrote you, still I rise. I still rise like the sun every morning. Even in pain sometimes, even not wanting to get out of bed, I still get up. I still open my eyes. I'm still given the opportunity to make it better. I still have another breath. I still have time, you know? But timing is everything.
On the divine level, you're so right. It's not our time, but when the right time comes, everything clicks.
Everything. And that's why when the family when the family crisis happened with the church going with the Jehovah Witness organization, and they call themselves family, and then I started looking at my own family. You understand? And if I can allow my own family to treat me like shit, who's to say that this makeshift bullshit over here, they think they can get away with treating me like shit too? It really wasn't no difference, because relationship is relationship. Either you gonna put into it or you not. And what are you willing to bring? It's not a one-sided. When you have a relationship with somebody, in whatever manner you have it, it's work. It's not one-sided. It doesn't take one person to make it right or make it whole or make it whatever it's gonna be. It's two people involved. And there need to be some setup. I didn't know all of this shit when I was out there doing my thing, thinking I was grown, thought I knew that. Like one guy,
Invincible.
um, he's a police officer, and me and him used to date, and well, after years he moved here. After I moved to Vegas, all of a sudden he's in Vegas too. And anyway, make a long story short, a couple of years ago, he texted me, and he said something about the sex we used to have, and he said that was the best I ever had. I said, really? That's fucked up, because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I don't know what the fuck was you doing? Because I was like, God damn, if you try it now, you might go someplace you would never come back. Because if you thought that was the best then, and I know what I know today, baby, no, you didn't get the best. You don't even know what the best was. You thought you did, because I ain't give it to you.
Wow.
That's just how I feel. I didn't have an orgasm until after I had my third child.
Really? What age was that?
I had my third child at 32.
Oh man.
And she was a couple of years old when I had the first motherfucking orgasm I ever had in my life.
What did that do to you? I mean, it was something new for you, but it was so, I
It
mean,
was it
most
was
people.
it was awesome. It was awesome. It was so fucking natural. It was so, because I wasn't expecting it. It was something that had never happened to me before. But it comes from you and your mindset and where you at. Because a man can't get you there by himself. You got to put some work in that shit too. You can't just lay there. You can't just, it was like I saw stars. I really felt an explosion.
So how did you feel with the person you were involved with? Did that make you
It made me
amplify
mad
the
because
relationship? I
it
mean,
made
yeah,
it
because you
made
never had one before.
I never had one before, and I was mad at all the other motherfuckers that I had, because I got 3 kids by 3 different men, and none of them did it. None of them. But it took a man that was married to do it to me. So
Wow.
I couldn't really have him either, and he wasn't shit. But I say this to say, all of this you hearing today with these girls singing about WAP and wet ass this and dripping hair and juice flowing, bitch, that ain't true. Don't do it to yourself, because I know. And I don't know who doing what, who zooming who, what, I don't know. But I ain't had my first one. Nobody cared enough to make sure that I was having that. It was all about just doing it. It wasn't no mind put into it. So I don't really think that, I never really been in love. And I got 3 kids. I mean, I had love for them, but I don't think I ever been in love. The only thing I've been in love with is I've been in love with them. I was in love with them when I had my kids. I was in love with that. That was a relationship. But as far as a man loving me and me loving him, I don't know what that is. Because I really never let myself open up, because my mother really never opened up to me to know what that was. And I never seen it demonstrated. I never seen it publicly displayed by her with anybody. So I feel like I'm almost 64. Like, if you do 7 times 9 is 64, right? Hello?
Say it again. I was
7
distracted.
times 9.
63?
Is it 64?
I think it's 63.
It's 63?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm 63 and I'm at the end of that 7-year cycle. I'm getting ready to go into another cycle of 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to it because I'm at a place where I'm ready. I'm ready as a woman. Not a woman king, a woman. I don't
Right.
want to feel like I gotta fight all the time. I want to feel like the queen without the king. I need somebody else for that. That's somebody else's job to be that. I mean, not to say that we can't do it, but why should we have to? At 64, I don't want to. But if I have to, she can bounce up. But it's just a lot. But I just wanted to share how the first person to break my heart allowed room for every other person to do the same. And that was my mother. And I still love her in spite of it all.
Beautiful. And that would really, anyone hearing this who has gone through the same or similar, that's an option that many of them never thought about. Not that they haven't. I'm not including everybody and saying everybody, but there are many who have not gotten to that same point that you've arrived to say that. And that would probably relieve them of a lot of the stress that comes with it. Some may not want to go that way in their head, but if they do, they'll understand that the pain in their heart will be reduced, because it is a generational mess that needs to be cleaned up. And I'm sorry you had to have this come to you as some type of inheritance, going through this, because those are crucial years when you're growing up as a young girl. And that flavors every experience of your life when you have that void. It's the other night I went for a walk, and I went for a long walk. And over here in some places they have open gutters.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody called out what I thought was my name, but they were calling somebody else. So I stepped into, not seeing the open gutter, and scraped up my legs real bad. It's okay now. But I realized that, in life, you can be distracted by things that keep you from healing. You could be going toward the path of healing and something comes along and distracts you. Or you could be nursing the pain you have inside and miss out and make the wrong step. So I'm just glad that for you, yes, you've been through a whole lot. But guess what? You're still looking forward to the future. You still know that you have a future. and you're in the process of putting a lot of these things in the past and how it affects you, you're never going to forget it. But you'll forgive, pick up the pieces, and move on to a fuller life. And no matter what age you are, whether you're 63, 64, 23, or 24, it's not a matter of the chronological age in which you arrive to that point. But the main thing is that you finally get there, right?
Right.
So, yeah. So it's still going to be good for you. And you're still
You
going to
know,
have a long life ahead of you.
it's just like I'm gonna just end it with this. I was listening
Mhm.
to Kim. You know who Kim is, right? The singer.
Yeah.
When Love Calls.
Right. Right, Kim. Yeah.
Okay, so that song, it has a new meaning for me. You know, when I listened to it back then, you know, when love calls, like, is it another love like somebody else? But this love that I'm looking for is the love for myself. It's
That's
nowhere
right.
to hide from when you have to love yourself. I've been hiding from loving myself because I've been giving it to everybody else that needed it. So now it's my turn to love. When love calls, love's calling for me to love me.
Great attitude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I hope somebody listened and maybe got something from it. It made me feel um a little better, a lot better, as a matter of fact.
I told you. I told you.
Yeah,
I told you.
you know, I was listening to, like I told you, like YouTube. I listen to a lot of, like I listen to a lot of history. Um, I listen to a lot of speaking talks about who we are as women, or who we are as a race of people. Um, how to deal with people who don't know themselves, because if you don't have a clue of who you are, you're bound to make or fall into a ditch or something. Hopefully you could pick yourself up out of it, but a lot of people don't know how to get themselves out of the ditch, and we need to come home to ourselves, because that's where the answers are. The answers for us is within us.
Beautiful.
However it resonates for you, you got to, I may have to do it a little different, and it's no right way or wrong way to become whole with yourself, but become whole with yourself. I mean, who else you got?
Yeah. That's what I say.
That's what
You
you
got to be
said that one of your, I think it was it the last, the last talk you did, you did about the only person who could stop you is you.
there you go.
So
There you go. And the
it's
thing
all
is that you're the only person that's going to be with you every second of your life. So you can never go wrong investing in yourself, building yourself up, keeping yourself strong, nourishing yourself, feeding yourself, educating yourself.
exactly.
Anything
And
you do
that's
for yourself can never go wrong. You will reap the dividends 100%.
yeah, that's what I agree. I do.
See, it was therapeutic. You see the moments of silence?
Mhm.
Ah, and there's things you're still going to want to talk about, and there's things that you're going to say after you say, hey, I forgot to say this. I forgot to say about that one. And you can always come back on and do it. And remember, I'm going to say this. You were a little nervous coming on, but when you got into your feelings and got into the things you wanted to share, that went out the window immediately, you know? But I understand. But
Yeah,
so
I
many
was.
people going through this. Yeah, go
It
ahead.
was.
I'm sorry.
It was a bit overwhelming, you know. Um, but it was something that I needed to do. Not just it was I needed to do it for myself. Somebody told me to journal, to video journal as part of my healing, to video journal. Talk about it. You ain't got to send it. You ain't got to just talk about it and listen back to it, you know. So there's a lot of platforms that I tried to reach out to, but nobody called me back. But you did.
Oh,
You know, I've been trying to reach
thank you.
out to somebody to talk to about what I'm going through because it's happening to me in real time. It's not something that has happened. It's happening. The realization that I'm coming to is happening for me now. And I'm not mad at it, but it's painful. It's painful being by yourself because what that lockdown did was it gave you the opportunity to dig into who you are. And whoever didn't do it missed out on an opportunity to get to know who they are.
That's right.
Yeah. But I listened to I told you about Doe, the singer Doe. She's a
Yes.
gospel singer. Her album is called Clarity, and the words were so profound for me at that time. The healing that I got from that whole album, the whole album. I'm not just talking about one. And as I began to open up my third eye, or what the Jesus
I
part,
understand.
the Jesus part I was having problems with. But other than that, the message that she was saying, it helped me heal. It helped me get through. It helped me sit in my shit, even though it was uncomfortable. So that's why I like music, you know. Zoom, zoom. I like to fly away. Deja vu. Mr. Magic is one of my favorites. Those are the things that Sun Shower got me by the hour.
Oh, don't
Dr.
tell me about wanting you. Oh,
Oh,
baby.
baby. Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey,
Okay.
now.
What,
Oh,
what
Dr.
about?
Buzz's. Look, I know every word on every song on that first album that came out in 1976. Don't tell me about that.
Okay. Now, what he said. I played a
I
fool
played
for
a
you.
fool for you. Oh,
Oh,
girl.
girl.
Ooh.
That can get me over.
Yeah.
So those are,
There's nothing, honey, that I won't do when I meet a girl lovely
lovely
as
as
you.
you.
Ain't it
Ain't it
funny
funny
what a
how
little
little
love can
love
do?
can do? Better than poison, so much stronger than
Stronger than
glue.
who?
Okay.
Ooh. Don't get me started. I
That
didn't even
was
know you were going to say that. You triggered me. My brain, I got the song right there, all the words, everything. I don't forget nothing. Oh,
Doc, Doc, Dr. Buzzard. They wasn't playing. They was not
you wasn't
playing.
playing.
That album was not playing. And New
To
Birth
me,
album wasn't not playing either.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking about you, mama. How about
Yes.
hard times?
Hard times. Oh my God.
Close your eyes and rest your tired
Yes,
body
darling.
next to
Close to
mine.
mine.
Nobody knows more than you
That was the
these
album.
hard times that we're living
We've
through.
been through. Yes, but
I'm gonna play it
baby.
tonight. I'm gonna be
Yes.
crazy on the blog tonight. We just gonna come out and bust out verbal with it for real. Oh, you
Yo,
triggered me.
that's like
If you
you
love
know,
that, I love you. I love you. If you love that music and you can say the words like that,
no, I know
you know
every
every
word.
I
I
know
know
every
every word.
I know every sound in that thing. For
It's,
years I play it. Listen, I played that thing for years. Today early I played one of the songs. If I had to pick one album, one for me personally, in my formative years, especially coming up, that one right there. And really all of the albums, because the second album bombed. But I
they
love
was
that one too. I
they
loved
was
it.
they was on point. I mean, her
Ooh.
dress. the way they was dressing was similar to the Pointer Sisters, but what they did was they dropped it. They got a little younger with it. Pointer Sisters was going really, going in that
Yeah.
that direction, but they did something. They did the zoot suit thing. Oh, yo, that girl who was the lead singer, that baby. I don't know when she was singing. All of them, they was getting down. They was
Wow.
into that. They was into that.
Wow. You tripped me out. You made my night on that one.
Well, you
Oh,
go
for real.
and that's some music that you should really enjoy. That's some music. That's some old music that just feeds your soul because it's just giving it to you.
On
And
all levels.
I was telling
Yeah.
you about the reason why I brought that up is because I told you that I wanna read tarot. I want to read tarot cards. I like that. I like it not because I feel like it's entertaining, but my perspective, the way I want to do it, is not like how everybody else is doing it. Like I don't want to come off. I want to come off from a Black perspective with it. Totally. I don't give a fuck who don't like it, but I want to come not to give a message to whoever's listening Black. I mean, if you come and you ain't Black and you can resonate with it, resonate. But this message is it's B1 for real. I mean, I don't know if I could do that, but that's what. But the reason why I play the Fool for you is because the first card in the tarot card is a 0 card, and the 0 card is a Fool card, and the Fool is a person has the opportunity at new beginnings. So I play the Fool for you, old boy or old girl, or whatever, if that'll get you over. But I'm playing this Fool because I play a Fool many times until I get it right. We all play the Fool over and over again. But the Fool is the opportunity to get it right. Because in the tarot card, you go from the Fool to having the world in your hand. And a Fool is a 0. And the 13 is the Devil card. And the 13 card is a 4 card. If you add 1 and 3, it's 4. I'm into that number shit. I like that number because that's a truth. Numbers is the truth. You ain't gonna get 1 and 1. When you put 1 and 1, you're gonna always get 2. The root of something is always gonna be the root of, you know what that might mean? It's always exact with numbers. And I like that. It just fascinates me. It fascinates me that the wheel on the tarot, on the astrological chart, if you look at it, it depicts a cross. It depicts it depicts so many different things, and I'm like,
Right.
damn. It had somebody directed, but they tried to push you away from that. The only thing that add up to the correct number is numbers, is the world. And they treated like it's not even supposed to be used. They didn't want you, because in the 70s, the astrological, everybody was hip to the sign. You remember everybody, what's your sign? You remember that song that they said, Aquarius, and my name is
Oh,
Randy.
Float On by the Floaters.
Okay.
Float on.
Yeah.
Doom, doom, doom. Aries, and my name is Lance.
Okay.
No, they didn't say that, but they had everybody.
But
They had a long version, like 17 minutes long, I think.
7. Yes, honey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes. I love the music.
Doom, doom, doom,
It was a
doom,
lot.
doom, 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 doom. Look, there's nothing like the 70s with music like that.
Nope. They
And I was younger, but I knew that this was the best music. I knew it. It vibrated right. We spoke to each other. We communicated to each other. And guess what? We weren't calling our women bitchs.
Nope.
The women weren't saying the men were no good.
No,
You understand?
let me tell you.
We
I
worked toward
asked,
love and unity and being together. But they changed the music, and look at us now. This is what pisses me off.
Look at the asses that's out there now. I ain't never
Yeah,
seen. I'm like, where these asses come from? But you
what I'm
know what?
saying is that,
But you know
women
what?
didn't. Yeah, this is crazy.
But do you know about the woman they have in the museum?
Yeah.
Remember
What's
the
her
one
name
with
with the
the
big?
with the
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
ass? She had
Right.
a big
Right.
ass. She had a
Right.
big ass, and she was in the circus because of the big
Mm-hmm.
ass.
Right.
Okay, and guess what? Where that ass wound up at? They studied that ass, honey.
Mm-hmm.
They've been studying
Museum.
that ass, and now they done gave it to all the people out here with these asses. Why? My ass worked real fine when I was young. I swear, let me tell you something, Lance. Had I been 23 today, oh Lord have
Mm,
mercy. Oh my God.
mm.
Oh my God. I'm so glad I wasn't 23 doing this. I'm so glad. I be looking at those Soul Train girls be dancing. They ain't had no BBLs. They ass was pop blocking in with their little butts.
But it's just everything's out of control that way, and it's like the exploitation and the identity. I'm gonna just do a freestyle on that. The identity of the ass.
Mm.
Like, how did it go from being the word then conscious, not this paper thin, two-dimensional word you say because you can quote these hotep foolishness. And I'm not saying it's
Mhm.
foolishness. I'm saying people are not living it.
Yeah,
People had
yeah.
a sincere desire back in that day. And we still had haters. We still had those who weren't with it. We still had Uncle Toms and Coons, although Tom now I learned it's not the right way to say it. But we had Right On magazine, Ebony magazine, Essence magazine. They didn't have no asses in it like that. Sepia magazine in the late 60s. I think it was discontinued in the early 70s. All of our periodicals. We didn't have the internet back then, but they were decent. The hottest stuff that you ever saw in print was a Jet magazine centerfold, and it was a young lady in a bathing suit.
And they asked
She
me
wasn't
at
spreading her
17.
cheeks.
They
Right.
asked me at 17 to be in the jet, and my mother told them no. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want me to be in the but I was offered to be posed for jet at 17, but my mother said no. But anyway, I mean, I didn't have a BBL. I had my breast was nice, but you know, other than that, it's just that. And then these people who was in control of these different avenues sold. Why? And sold to the people who don't look like us.
Yeah.
And then they went and we told them too much about how we survive. See, I like being the spook who sat by the door. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody introduced me to that movie at 17 years old. I don't know who this man was, but he took me to the movies, and that's what he took me to see. We never had a relationship. I never had a sexual, but this is somebody that was an angel
Yes.
who took me to see. He took me to see two different movies, and both of these movies was underground. You couldn't go to 42nd Street to the big theater. These was underground movies. You had to go into sloppy, stinky, nasty, bug infested movie theaters to watch them.
Mm-hmm. They made sure.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is that they've been preparing me. It's like I'm the female spook. I feel like I'm a female spook because I've seen a lot and I know a lot and I realize a lot now. And I'm glad that I'm able to speak about it.
That's
Like
right.
I talk to my kids. Like I had to ask my daughter the other day. I said, do you understand what we're talking about? She said, kind of. I said, well, can you share with me where I lost you at? Because I need for you to understand where I'm at. You need to understand your mother. If you don't understand me, what? I want you to understand. I just feel like I can't leave this earth without them, without knowing that that I feel like they're going to be all right. And I don't feel like that with my youngest daughter.
That's your mother's instinct.
Hmm.
That's a call
But I
to
can't.
action.
It is a call to action, and everybody, what I noticed is that every one of my pregnancies was different. Like my oldest daughter, what I did while I was pregnant with her, how I nurtured that pregnancy. I was by myself, but I did things that I thought was supposed to protect me and her during this time. I did the same thing with my son, and then with my other daughter, but it was at different levels in my life. Different things was happening. Like it took me 8 years to have my second child, to make a decision to continue with the pregnancy, and then it took me another 4 years to have the third. But each one of them, I know they give off the exact energy that I was feeling when I was pregnant with them.
Right.
You know, but they do have another side to them that they probably don't. I don't know about their fathers. I don't know what their upbringing was, but that's part of them, whether I like it or not. So I have to, I don't know, but my two youngest kids are gay, and that's another thing that I'm dealing with.
Right.
My son is gay, and my youngest daughter is gay,
Mhm.
and I don't know if they would have been gay if we stayed in New York, or did coming out to the West Coast do something to them. But when
Right.
I talk to them, my son tells me that he knew he was different when he was little,
Mhm.
you know. And I want to know, did something happen to you? You know? But he said nothing happened to him. And my youngest daughter, she's never been touched by a man. She doesn't want to be touched. And that's a daddy issue. You understand? And I know
Yeah.
that. But anyway, here I am today, and it's a lot that I've been through, but for the first time in my life, I'm addressing the issues of me. I know that there's light and I know that there's darkness within me, but I need to balance it. It's always going to be there. Those two opposites are always going to be within me. I just need to know and recognize which one is which one is showing up, because one has been repressed for a long time and she tired. It's just no holding back the tongue. The tongue gets, and I don't want to, because the tongue could be a double-edged sword, and I don't want to cut nobody off at the knees, and then you can't walk the next day because of something I said. So I'm learning how to speak. I want to be able to express myself, because everything that I think I know is much more that I need to learn. But everything that I know is within the circumference of my being.
Wow. Food for thought.
Hmm.
Food to be digested by people who need it, because you
Yeah.
were brave enough and strong enough to bare your soul and share. And some may not understand it because they're not at that point yet. When they do get there, they'll say, you know what? I didn't understand it before, but I need to go back and listen to that because he was right on point. And
Hmm.
you are very beautiful. I mean, in your soul. And I already know, we know you're beautiful, but inside, because you dealt excellently with the hand of cards that you were given out of the deck. A lot of us see the hand and say, oh, God, I can't win at this game, and quit and punk out. But you persevered. So the whole chronological age of 64, it matters not, because you're still here. And I hear a lot of enthusiasm and life force in your voice. And you don't sound like somebody who's 64 and broke down. You sound like you're back at 23 years old. So I just have to say that.
I just want to help. I want to just help another woman, another black woman
Yes.
who ain't never been loved or feel like
Continue to
she
talk,
ain't never
sweetheart. I'm
been.
going to run to the restroom real quick. I drank a lot of juice
No
this morning.
problem.
Keep talking. I'll be back.
Yeah. It's just that I just hope that it's just I went through a lot. I went through a lot, and I'm glad that I arrived at where I'm at today. I don't mind crying because feelings come up. They come up when you least expect it, and all of a sudden you're crying, and then I have to take a deep breath and say, okay, it's okay. You feel a feeling, process it, and let it go. And I might have to do that a couple of times throughout a day. But it's okay because I know that I'm dealing with it. I'm not repressing anything. I'm not putting it over in the corner and saying I'll deal with it tomorrow and tomorrow never come, because that's what I did for the past 63 years. I was putting it over in the corner. I deal with it. But I have all the time in the world today. I got all the time to love me, to pamper me without feeling guilty because so and so might need a new something, or you know I got to go food shopping or something. I can just do me, and I can and feel good about it. Even though when I was doing it, when I was had the kids, I was feeling good too. But I was like, oh damn, I'm gonna pay for this next month. But I ain't got to worry about that right now. I can spend a lot of time on myself, and that may sound selfish, but it's time for me to be selfish for Robin, and I'm good with it. I don't know how many people out there listening, but thank you, and I hope that it touches somebody's heart and that it could do something for somebody else. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next month, maybe next year, who knows? But it could help somebody I know.
Okay, I'm back. I don't know if you're still here. I just see there was a little silence.
Yeah, I just got quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got quiet. I said a little something. I said, whoever's in the chat room, hopefully someone could use what I said. And if not today, tomorrow, maybe next year. Whoever knows, whenever you can, hopefully you can remember it and apply it, to help you get through.
Well, I appreciate it because, you know, we have people who have been on before and they may have transitioned, move on, and their words are still here, but they shared. And we've had people who recently transitioned, some from many years ago, and I'm still getting feedback on what they shared. And that's the beautiful part of it, that you're giving something that, well, I can't say YouTube will last forever, but the effect on the person who hears the words that are profound to them can change the course of their life in the subsequent generations that come behind them. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's the energy involved. YouTube has come and it will go one day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how technology is. That's how life is. Nothing lasts forever. But whatever you're on, whether it's a conversation at the bus stop, something on social media, it could be a song that you create or something overheard, you know, it's something that's appreciated by somebody, especially when you share it with a loving heart. When you've been through pain like that and suffered for many years, you've come to a certain level in your life where you can look it in the eye and break it down. that's instructions for somebody else who may not know how to handle it or deal with it. See? So you're doing a good work, and just continue to shine and to do what you do.
I
Go
wrote a
ahead.
I wrote a poem before I left New York. It's like over 20 something years ago. But
Wow.
I named it The Force Behind the Force.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to, a little bit of it I remember, but I have it packed away because right
Oh,
now,
when you get it, share it. Or if you know a little bit of it now,
yeah, it
I'm gonna
says
keep
something
I'm gonna
like,
keep bugging you to come on and share it.
it says something was like, the force behind the force wouldn't let me see, something like that. It tried to, keep me from my identity, but the force behind the force had a master plan. I forgot the rest of it, but I wrote it and I did it some put it on a nice piece of paper. But right now I'm packed. My stuff is in storage because I'm in a transition point in my life. Like, not only am I transitioning within myself, but my whole surrounding. I'm in a transitional phase. Like,
Right.
I don't know where I'm gonna be living because I'm living with someone temporarily. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not I'm not in my own space. So I really can't operate like I want to operate or do like I want to do because this is not my space.
Exactly.
Um, but I, but because I'm in this transition, I'm taking all opportunity to do what I can to prepare myself for that next move.
Understood.
In my mind, I'm trying to see it. I'm trying to manifest it how I want it, how I want to see it. But I don't know the location yet.
That's okay. It's coming one step at a time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, dog. What? He's the kind of dog that want to be all up in the video, want
I
to be
know the
dancing,
type.
he want to be talking, right? He think this is his conversation.
Wants the spotlight.
Huh?
Who wants the
Yeah,
spotlight?
yeah.
Wow. Well, if you want to relax, we could wrap it down, and we'll definitely talk after shortly. I
Okay.
commend you and I respect you, and I love you for loving Dr. Buzz's original Savannah band and knowing the words.
Man, that was
Brought
my
me back.
jam. That was my jam. That was dope. That record was my jam. That whole album kept me company, honey.
A whole album. There's
That whole
lemon in
album.
the honey, in the honey.
They was something else. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I mean, I would love to see them in concert. That's a concert that I would go to.
Well, Corey Day, the singer, the lead singer, the female singer, she made her own album. I don't know if you remember that. It's back in the late 70s. She didn't
Who
lead the
Cor-
group. She just made it, her own album. Look it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Corey Day.
I've been
Yeah.
seeing her. I've been listening to her
Interviews.
story.
Yeah. She
Story.
had a song named Green Light. Green
Mm-hmm.
Light, Call Me. There was another one. There's another one, but it had the same Dr. Buzzard's feel, you
Mm-hmm.
know, big band sound and mixing in with, you know, Afro Latino beats and even some Haitian type. It
It's
did
all
something to you.
black. It's all
Yes,
black.
right, exactly.
It's
They
all black.
blended the culture. Yeah, it's all black. They blended the cultures from all over the world.
Well, for
African,
real.
yeah.
That drum, you can't deny. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Doom,
The
doom,
drum, you is
doom,
not gonna
doom,
get away
doom, doom.
from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but those are my music, like the Escorts and um I like the Frankie Beverly, not Frankie Beverly. Who's the one with Harold Melvin?
And the Blue Notes.
Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
love them.
If you
I
don't know
love
me
the
by now.
album. I love the album by that Diana Ross did with Marvin Gaye.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite albums. Um, the Emotions
Oh
was
yeah.
they were
Whoa,
my girls.
whoa, you got the best of my love.
The other one is So I Can Love You just a little bit more. Remember that
Mm-hmm.
song?
Yep.
They music, them girls could sing.
Yeah.
I'm
But you know what
sorry.
though? The business of music, it wasn't so compartmentalized because now it's like you can only have one of each category. If it's for men singing or a duet with, you can only have like it they predicted its shelf life before, like, okay, you can only be hot for this next 4 months before we move on and engineer another hit. Back in the day, if people kept playing the song, they had to keep playing it on the radio. I don't care if 2 years went by. You know what I mean? If they were playing
Hmm.
it and rocking it, the radio stations, they had to listen to the people because they used to have it where you can call in
Right,
and play whatever you wanted. It could
right.
be older, it could be current, but they would never say, "Oh, this airtime is precious. That was 6 months ago. It came out. We're pushing this. Now we're the victims. Now we're the experiments now on our subconscious mind through what they put out there. It's the dog wagging the tail. It's no more us controlling." Because I remember songs that when we went to house parties that we would bring records and people wanted
Okay.
to. They never said, "Oh, that's old." They started that stuff in the modern time when they changed the
Yeah.
frequency of the music. Oh, that's old. We don't want to hear. What you mean old? I guess I'm a relic at 60 years old, but I have the memories. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
that's why,
hey,
but that's why so many the kids that like hip hop, like when it first came out, the reason why you like the hip hop so much is because the sampling of the music that they was sampling is the old
they don't
music
realize that.
that we was rocking to before
Right.
the hip hop came out.
But
So
they don't understand that. They think it's
they,
something new
they
and they
think it's
knock the
new,
old music.
but it's not. It's not new. Even rapping is really not new. It's just the way
No,
that
it's
they
not.
deliver it. The way
Right.
that they deliver it is different. The package is different.
Right.
But when they when we start talking too much to these people take everything. That's what their nature is to steal everything from everybody and claim it like it's
Right.
theirs.
Yeah,
And
they'll do
it
it.
just and that's what they do. It's been is it's like I went to see that movie, the corn, the flower of the corn. What is it?
Oh,
You know,
Children of the Corn.
the children, flower children of the corn. And I had to listen before I went to see it. I listened to the commentaries about some of from the black perspective about the movie, and then I went to see it. Um, this is the nature of these people, the audacity to say to a group of people that have money that they're not in a position to handle their money and that you're going to tell them how to spend it and charge. They did so many different crooked things. These are crooked people. They don't have that in them. And it's not to say that there's no white people out there that are good, that want to do good, but because you drown in the company of those who did so much fucked up shit, it rubs off on you. You
Yeah.
guilty, you guilty because you look like them. Just like they say, we guilty because we look like,
Right.
you lump us all together. Why we can't lump all you together? I don't understand that. But it is what it is, and I'm learning how to deal with it accordingly. Because for so long, I let people get away with saying, like, one girl told me, oh, just forget about your culture, just leave all of that. When she said
What?
it, I didn't know how to respond, and then she left, and then I had to think about that. I said, this bitch did not just say that to me. She did not just tell me to forget my culture, forget all that culture, because I started wearing head wraps. I started wrapping my hair up, wearing bows and shit. And these people didn't understand it. They started making fun of me. One told me, what's that, a towel on your head? What?
What?
Yes. This is recently. So you want me to sit down and come? I will not cast my pearls among swine. I will not do it anymore. Y'all people will not. I will not entertain you. I will not sit at your table and eat dinner with you and break bread with you because y'all think y'all can say and say anything to people and think they're not supposed to respond. And then when we respond like we want to slap the shit out of you, you got a problem. But then you need to learn how to talk. You need to learn how to speak, and you need to learn how to not say some shit. Because we had to learn how to not say some shit to you. For real. It's just like the girl said, oh, I never knew the word nigga. Bitch, you know nigga. You know that word better than me. How you gonna tell me you never used it? You using it in its right context right now. So don't tell me you don't know that word. You know it very well. Your mama taught you
Kind
about
of
it.
easy.
You know, you let that shit roll off your tongue like you didn't stutter when you said it. Do you have Netflix out there?
Yeah, you can get it anywhere on the internet.
Well, did you? It's a movie on Netflix called Old Dads. I never laughed so hard. You know who Bokeem? What's his name? That actor, that black
Woodbine.
actor,
It's a Bokeem
Woodbine.
Woodbine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in it. But the word nigger. Oh my God. It's a scene in there, and it's something about the word nigger, and it's him. He's in the back, and his two friends is in the front, and they white boys, but they own a business together. I want you to just go watch the movie because I needed to laugh, and when I need to laugh, I try to find good movies that can humor me because I forgot how to laugh. But when I saw this movie, he had that man in the back seat, and the word nigger came up out of songs, and he was like, "I don't do it." He said, "Well, do you listen to certain?" I think it was what's the group Ice Cube used to be in with Easy E and them, NWA.
Yeah, it wasn't
Oh,
Ice Cube though. I think it was just Easy E and Ren and what's the
oh,
other guy?
Ice Cube wasn't down. Ice Cube was down with Easy E at one time.
Oh, he was cool with him, but I don't think he was in. Ice Cube wasn't in WA, but they were from the
He was.
same
He
era.
wasn't. Wasn't he with Dr. Dre?
They all were cool with each other, but Dr. Dre, MC Ren,
He left them right
um,
after. He left them because he did a
Ice
diss
Cube.
record. He did a
Ice
diss
Cube was
record.
in NWA.
He
I
was
don't
in.
remember that, but
He did a
maybe I don't
diss
know.
on. He did a diss on a diss song on Dre when he said he was taking ice. He was taking it in his ass.
Oh Lord,
Remember that song he made?
I know he made a song about the B word.
No, he got another one where he dissed
But
Dre.
some of you nookers are itches too, and it had a funny beat to it and everything. I remember that.
Yeah, but this is before that. Cause he was
Right.
with NW. He was with NWA. But he
Hmm.
left. He got out of that shit. He got out of Dre. He left Dre. But he said that's why you taking
Oh,
it up
oh,
that.
oh, 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 oh. Did you say Ice T? Because Ice T, it wasn't Ice
Not
T, it was Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
No, Ice Cube was with NWA for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ice Cube
Yes.
was.
Yes.
I
Ice
don't know, maybe
Cube
I heard
was.
it wrong when you said Ice T. I know Ice
Did
T
I say
wasn't with
Ice
him.
Cube?
I think
If
you
I
said
said
Ice T.
I meant
I'm not
Ice
sure.
Cube.
Okay. Ice Cube was with them and he left. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what happened between them, you know,
Hmm.
how they got down and what and why Ice didn't go with them. He left. He didn't want to be with them anymore.
Hmm.
But he noticed some things that was going down and he didn't want to be a part of it. But I was going to say something else. I got caught off about that song anyway. There's something about that song and what they did. But anyway, music is music and I love it all. I mean, I don't know too much of, Taylor Swift don't do shit for me, so I'm sorry. And she may be rich, she may have a lot of nice singles, but she don't do nothing for me. And I don't give a shit if she got Ice Spice up in there with her. That don't mean nothing to me, but I don't know. I don't know where the music is going to. I like old music. But anyway, I was telling you about that movie, The Old Dads. Please watch it and have a laugh on me. Especially when he do to the white boy in the back seat of the car.
Oh my God.
Because he said, you don't say that word? He said, but you like the NWA. He said, yo, put that song on. And he put the song on. He said, now sing the song. Sing it like you sing it when you at home, when nobody looking. He said, I'm not going to do it. He put him on the spot. He put all of them on the spot.
Oh, dang.
About the word nigga. Oh, my God. And I thought that was a funny movie.
Wow.
Well, Lance, I know this is your forte. You probably could stay on for another couple of hours.
Well, I can stay on till the sun comes up.
Yeah.
After the sun comes up and goes down, I can still. Well, you know me by now. Most people know that this is something I love to do. And I've always been one to love conversation and the art of conversation, you know, knowing when to talk, when not to talk, when to egg a person on, how to bring them out of themselves and get them to talk, or, you know, it's just something I've always been into from when I was very young. So I love communication. I love to entertain. I love to make people laugh, make them think. It's not just talking, but, you know, just other artistic ways of doing things.
You know, I think that I'm learning that about myself, you know, because when I was a little girl, like when I went to junior high school, I didn't know nobody. Nobody know me. But when I wanted to run for class president, and I did. I ran, but nobody voted. Nobody voted for me, and my teacher felt that it was a good idea for him to make the announcement to the whole goddamn class. Wow, you know, we have a student in the class who's running for president. Nobody voted. I was like, this nigga did not just do that. He did not just do this. So I didn't win the presidency then. But when I became a police officer, after 10 years in the police department, I ran for the vice president. And I won. And I walked away.
That was your revenge on the other one where you didn't get voted for. That's what it was.
I don't know what it was, but I won that one. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. Because I felt like it was more politics involved than I was ready to deal with. I didn't want to be, I don't know what I didn't want. I didn't want to. I just said no because it felt funny. It felt like it was a setup. It didn't feel like I won fair and square. Like, I don't know if they put me there for who voted for me. I didn't know who was what was what. So I just said, I don't want the position no more. But I'm finding that about myself. Like, I like talking, but I like making sense. I like logic. If it don't make sense, I can't rock with it. It gotta feel like it's supposed to fit something. If it don't feel like it fit or something, I can't go with it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been settling with shit that don't fit. It don't fit. Don't make it fit. Don't try to force it. Go, you know, it's okay. The biggest thing that I did was walk away. Walk away from bullshit. Wherever it's coming from. And whoever's giving it. I don't differentiate. Family don't make you special.
DNA sharers.
No, it don't make you special. As in anything, it makes me expect a little bit more from you than I expect from everybody else. And when I don't get it and you let me down like everybody else, you get to be treated like everybody else. And the only person that don't is my mother. I just have a hard time with that one. I may not go in front of her. I may not, I may hide from her and stuff like that. But that's my own mechanism of coping with my mother, to just save face, not to hurt her feelings. Because I know how that feel when people hurt your feelings and let you down. And I don't want to do that to her,
Mm-hmm.
But she did break my heart. That's all I know. And I can I can lay up off of the men in my life because half of them didn't know either.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you never really opened up to them to tell them what you've been
Nobody
through.
never no, nobody calls and say, "You okay? What you going through?" I moved out here with almost $300,000 in my bank account. And I moved in with a nigga that ripped me off.
Oh man.
Okay? That's why I've been a fog. When I told you I've been on the West Coast in the fog, it's because of what happened to me out here. And it had a lot to do with money. It had a lot to do with money. But when it happened to me and I talked to my mother about it, she didn't give me the support that I needed to make me strong to fight when I needed to fight. It took me from 2004 to 2009 to get enough courage and strength within myself to walk away from something that I had invested in and lost. And all my mother could say to me, well, you had to make a decision, not that, where that motherfucker at? Let me talk to that nigga. Or
Right, right.
where, got my back. What? He did what? We getting that money back. No, we getting that shit back. No, no. We getting that.
Exactly.
No, none of that. None of that. None of that. This motherfucker ran off with all my, left me out here. He did me dirty. None of that. None of that. Nobody talks to me about that. So.
So much. So much you had to go through.
But it made me a better person. People who see me, I know they can see me. I know they see that I've been through something, and I respect that, because when you see somebody, if you can see the hurt behind their eyes and the smile that they try to smile, and they really smiling, they're not really smiling, but they smiling anyway. you know, we
Eyes
do
don't
a,
lie.
but somebody who can feel you, somebody who's in touch with their spirit, who can feel you, could feel you. That's why I called you. That's why I reached out to you, Lance, because it was something that you were saying that was resonating with me. It reminded me. It took me back to a familiar place that I was already back there, but I was dealing with other stuff. But it was good to hear that somebody recognized back there. You know?
Indeed.
It
Wow.
was like trust. I can't trust everybody. I just cannot. I don't mind sharing my story with people, because my story is my truth. And
Right.
I don't have nothing to hide from it no more. I'm not ashamed of it. It is what it is. You ain't gotta like it. You ain't even gotta like me. And it's okay. Cause I'm not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not. I'm not. I'm an acquired taste. That's what I am. I'm an acquired taste. And there's
That
levels
means
to there's
right,
levels
right,
to me.
right.
It's
You know,
like it's like a banana, a ripe banana, or like an onion. You peel it, layers, and you could cry. You can cry when you peeling the onion, right? But a banana is sweet when you peel that banana, and it's firm and it's nice and not too soft. It's not too, it's just right. You know, the onion is another metaphor, because it's tears involved with the onion. But with a banana, it's just sweet. It's just nice. It's just firm. It's good. The onion, it's an acquired taste.
You know the health benefits of it.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of things that are good for you just don't taste sweet. Doesn't mean something sweet is bad. You got mangoes, bananas, apples, watermelon. They're good for you. But some of the bitter things that we take, they're also good for us. But sometimes we don't have the maturity to understand. And we get fooled by the sweet stuff all the time, just like sweet words in your ear to rip you off on different levels, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what they say about the Bible. Don't let the words of the Bible tickle your ear. Don't let the words tickle. They just
Uh-huh.
tickle your ear. They grab your attention and make it seem like, oh yeah, this is yeah. But that shit is so. I'm happy. I'm happy that it happened because my studies. I didn't just study with Jehovah's Witnesses. I studied with the Christians. I studied with the Muslim, and I studied with the Jews. And they all connected. They all related. They all got Jesus in common.
Common thread, huh?
I mean, the Jesus thing. But the one thing about Jehovah's Witnesses is that they don't say Jesus. And I always wondered, well, don't y'all know the blood of Jesus? Don't y'all know about the blood of Jesus? And they was like, well, they'll skip over that shit. And you know what I found out, Lance, why they do that? It's because they can and get away with it because Jesus is a made up concept.
There you go.
That's why they can get away with it and run a multi fucking million billion damn organization and get away with not saying the blood of Jesus because Jesus is not even real and neither is Abraham for that matter. So none of your motherfuckers exist. But the principles that they give you, like the principles that's in the Bible, is just like the 42 principles of Mott, right? Mott. The Ten Commandments is based off of the 42 principles of Ma'at, right?
Which goes a lot deeper than just the 10 Commandments. Because there's
Which
so many
book?
people that feel as though if it's not one of the 10 Commandments that they're doing, then it's okay to do it. You know, there's a lot of gaps in there.
Yeah, because it justifies their behavior. It gives
Right.
them it gives them a out to keep doing what the fuck it is that they've been doing.
Skirting the rules.
Yeah, because you know
Yeah.
what? All you got to do is say, Jesus died for our sins, and you forgiven. All of us, all of that shit don't matter. But they go to prisons and recruit people that's supposed to be rehabilitated, pornography, people been in jail, rape kids. I don't trust shit like that because
Mhm.
I'm a survivor of that. And when I see men who prey on women who got no husbands in the community, like in this community, it was going on. You know, I was dealing with a sister who was married to a man that was on the sex register.
Oh no.
Okay, and I didn't find out about it until I moved away from Vegas, and I don't know what happened. Was I went on a sex that whatever that thing is, and his name and picture came up, and I said, oh
Scary.
shit. I said, this nigga's a Jehovah Witness. He around kids. He's on a sex offender. How they got? But this is repeated. This is what's happening. It's happening.
Mhm.
They do this to these kids. And they thought they could do it to this single black woman over here. Like one guy asked me, "Well, are you divorced? How uh, how did he phrase it? Are you still married?" I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Well, did you have scriptural grounds for a divorce?" I looked at this white motherfucker, Lance, and I said, "Well, what do
Mhm.
you want? You want a doctor's note or something? The fuck you want?" I said, "What grounds?" He said, we got to keep the cleanliness of the congregation." I said, "Well, I wanted to say, well, you the dirtiest motherfucker up in here, asking me, do I have scriptural grounds? The nigga could not stay in my bed. I was sleeping with the enemy. How about that?"
Wow.
He want the cleanliness. You know, what you saying is very derogatory. It's very offensive for you to say the cleanliness of, like, I'm a black woman. You talking about the cleanliness of the of the of the congregation, like I'm some dirty stain. You know what I'm saying? The audacity of these people to speak to you, and then when you look back and like, nigga, what you want? You want me to get? I can get you a doctor's note. You want that? How about that? Would that suffice? You want proof? If I have scriptural grounds for a divorce, you don't even know what the word matrimony really means. It means that I'm the one, the woman is the one that's giving up every goddamn thing. Y'all gaining by me marrying you because my pot becomes your pot. That's what matrimony is about. Headship. Let's talk about that. So this is where one white boy is telling me he don't want to embarrass me almost a year and a half ago has gotten me. One little comment took me down to learn about Robin and say enough is enough. I'm not sacrificing myself for y'all. No, not you, not nobody. Not no more. Bye. Change my number. Change my telephone number. They can't call me. What they was doing was they was emailing me. Kept emailing me until I told them this is a form of harassment. I told y'all bye. Stop talking to me unless y'all want to get cursed out. Y'all want to hear me say assalamu alaikum?
Wow.
Yeah. It's just a lot. And it's hard to focus on everything that's thrown at you, that you deal with on a regular every day. It's hard to deal with yourself when you have to deal with all of those outside energies coming at you at one time from different directions, that you don't have time to cater to you. You don't even have time to cater. The only thing you worrying about, especially me being a mom, I was worrying about making sure the kids was okay. Making sure they had food. I had to make sure. I had to make sure. Because I feel like I'm not a woman that's built for speed. I'm a woman that's built for comfort. Don't rush through me. Don't do that to me, because you'll never find who I am. You'll never find the person that you want to know. You'll always find an imposter.
It's true.
So communication is important. I didn't always know how to do it, but I love wearing the color blue. And blue is the chakra for your throat. So speaking is it's where your speaking abilities come from. I wasn't, like you said, you wasn't, you don't have, like, it's not an education that you get from the books or the schools. It's an education that the universe is giving you. And you just take it. And I listen, I'm paying attention to it now. And it's just the synergy that's coming up for me. It's just, I'll be like, oh, did I just talk that up? Or why? I just said this. I just was looking for something. What? It's like, wow. Okay. That's a
You don't
beautiful.
realize it sometime. You just manifest certain things and you're like, wait a second, I just thought about that. Let me try
Yeah.
this again.
Yeah. It's like, how you gonna win if you ain't right within? I mean, I love the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. You just you know, you just just a lot of things that people were saying. You be singing along and you be singing along to the record. Sometimes you don't even have the exact words, but then when you hear the exact words, like Michael Jackson's song, So You Want to Be Starting Something. Too high to get over, too low to get under, stuck in the middle. But the pain is what? Thunder. I'm with it. I'm with you, Mike. I hear you. And Billie Jean is always talking when ain't nobody else. They call her Martha Motor, honey. I mean, when I went to see that movie, the Flowers of the Corn. Is that the name of it? But it's about them Indians, the Osage Indians. But right before what they did to them, Tulsa, Oklahoma was having fires. They was burning down niggas.
For real.
And then right around the corner, they was robbing the Indians. So why would anybody want to live back in Oklahoma? It should be a destituted place. But you don't know. It's just like that Lake Lanier. What's that Lake Lanier? People died up in there. It's just too much. It's just too much cover-ups. And then they don't want CRT in the school. Why? Because you don't want to make the other white little kids feel uncomfortable. But it's all right for us to be big. We've been uncomfortable for how many years?
That's right.
It's just sad. And I blame it on the education system. I blame it on the religious system. I blame it on them. I blame it on them that my mother didn't know how to love me. I blame it on them. But I also blame it on whoever was zooming her. Shit. Where was your mama? And what was she telling you? Everybody don't want to take accountability. It's time for people to stand up and take accountability. Like I talked to my grandmother and she dead. Because I be like, Mama, you know, okay? You know. And some people just didn't know why they didn't know how to talk.
Trauma.
Wow.
Lots of trauma.
That's a shame.
That's what it was, down to the bone, down to the DNA, saturated to the soul.
And they tell you pick yourself up at the bootstraps, and half of us ain't even have motherfucking boots. We ain't even have the boots. I said to my mother, I said, yeah, God bless the child that has his own. She said, yeah, that's right. I said, oh, you real high on that one, huh? God bless the child that has his own. Okay. But in order for the God to bless a child that has his own, she needed to springboard off of somebody that has something. And I'm not talking about just looking cute. Because looking cute gets you what? To the corner and back. What looking cute gonna get you? Nothing. Nothing of substance. I mean, I don't mind. I like looking cute. I like looking fly. I like dressing up. I like, but of lately, Lance, I have not. I have not. I have not. Not that I can't, but I have not. I'm
Right.
not. I have not, wanted to be dressed up and looking, just going out. Because really, where I'm going, I don't even know where to go no more. But to the movies. And I only go to the movies to see something that I'm going to be educated by. Or is going to, like Denzel, he can do no wrong to me. I like him. I like his movies. So I'll go see his movies. Because I feel like he be saying things to me. Saying he got little quotes that he say. And I'll be like, okay, I can take that one and use it. Like, did you see Denzel Washington 3?
Which one?
What's the movie chain that he has out?
Well,
The
to be honest,
Equalizer.
I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen none of the Equalizers?
None of them. I haven't seen. There's so many movies that I want to catch up on, and
You
many
too
people have been
busy.
asking me to like do reviews on them. And when I do, I'll go in. But I was just never really a movie guy. You
Mm.
know, I was
Oh,
always creating my own, creating my own sensations, and you know, not trying to be the life of the party, but just always spearheading new energies and new exploring new worlds and bring my friends along.
okay.
But yeah, I could do that now. I could do that now. I am going to
But
do it
this,
now. I have, like, you know.
in the in the trilogy, in all his movies from Equalizer 1 all the way up into 3, there's always a quote that he has in his movies. But this one, the man asked him, he said, are you a nice person? And he told the man, I don't know. And the man walked away from him.
Right.
And then he asked the man, he said, well, where am I? Because the whole storyline, I guess you would have to see the first one. But anyway, he was revenging one of his partners who was killed in a very savage way. He was revenging her death. Anyway, he got hurt and he wound up at this man's house. And this man, they took him in. They, was healing. But anyway, the man asked him, he was healing him. He said, are you a nice person? And Denzel says, I don't know. And then Denzel says, so where am I? And the guy tells him, you're where you're supposed to be. That's where you're at. You're where you're supposed to be. Now, the reason why are you a nice person? And when Denzel said, I don't know, it touched my soul because I learned that the word nice means stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, he answered it correct to me, because he's not stupid. But when the man said, where am I? He said, you exactly where you supposed to be. So wherever situations you in, even though you may think that you ain't supposed to be there, you're right where you're supposed to be. So something is there for you to learn or to do. And that's what that was for him in that movie at that time. It was just interesting. And I just learned that the word nice means stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know?
that's crucial.
So, words that distract, I try to watch what I say. Cause you know what? Everything is polarity. There's good and bad, right?
Right.
Happy and sad, and whatever the hot and cold, and left and right. It's always opposite, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they need each other. But you have to
Yeah.
bring
Yeah.
balance.
That's
It's a
right.
balancing thing. It's all about balancing it. And it took me a long time, but I feel like I'm finally learning how to do that. And that's all you can ask for. Like
But at least you get
I
to that
never,
point.
huh?
But at least you're getting to that point. Some people never get it. You know,
Yeah.
when you feel it and you know it. Like I say, nobody ever learned to ride a bike by reading a book. You got to get on it. You can read all about it, but you got to get on it. So you're not
Hmm.
going to get balanced by anything else. You got to seek it and find it for yourself. But when you feel it and feel that balance, when you're on a bike, it's a whole different feeling. But you have to be hands on life to get that. You know,
Yeah.
Steve, I'm glad you're there.
Yeah. I am too. I'm just looking forward to, you know, what my next I'm not trying to I learned from the Sangu, the sages, the Indian Sangus,
Right.
and one of them said that what a sati is. A
I heard
sati
the
is
word.
is
Yeah. What is that?
a sati is a woman who husband dies, and she sits and she sits and she sits until she becomes a sadi. She goes to the grave. She sits around. She waits. She's awake. She's like a sadi is a person that's like a woman who's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
She waits, and I've been a sadi for almost. It'll be 2 years coming up. You know, I have not really been. I've just been sitting and learning, and like you know who Frances Cress Welsing is, right?
But of course.
Okay, so you know who her mentor is, right?
Oh, God, that slipped me. I got all these jumbled names in my head. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I forgot his name too, but I know he uses the quote. So how you doing today? He said, I'm still learning.
That's the way it always should be.
Yeah, I'm
There's,
still learning.
you know, right. There's no cap on learning.
None.
I have an insatiable hunger to learn from young, just reading and reading and reading and talking to people and meditating and just observing. Nature can teach you a lot of lessons without you having to talk to anybody. You go out there and you watch the ants, you watch the butterflies, you see the plants, you see how things operate and they work. I learned a lot today. I'm going to learn a lot later on before I go to sleep. I have nothing else to do but learn now. So I'm on an accelerated course to get, you know, to that point. And in the frivolous things of this world, it just, you know, I have no interest in it. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, I've been missing, and I've been learning, but the change of atmospheres has just brought me to a whole new level of focus. And I just want more, you know, and to share more, you know, to share more.
But that's the whole thing that they kept us away from. They kept us away from sharing ourselves with each other. They divided us from that. And that's why we so separate. Because they get together and talk about shit all the time. They talk about that. They talk. What they do is one thing they do is they talk. They having conversations, but we ain't having conversations. And we so messed up in our heads that when we try to have conversations with people who have been brainwashed to the extent that they can't even see. They so blind they can't even see the sun. They can't. Even if the sun was in their face, they wouldn't know it was the sun. That's how blind. That's how miseducated they are. I grew up. My mother, my stepfather, he was in the Marines. Okay, but he knew my father. He knew my father because they all grew up in the same area. They grew up in the same. He went to school with my mother, the same school. Anyway, this man, and when I say the love I have for him is not a natural love. You know what I'm saying? It's a love out of him being there. You know, being there and being around for so long. I don't even know if I can call it love. But this is a man. You know what the word Shizakov is?
I heard that word too again.
Shizakov and schmuck. You know what a schmuck is, right?
An idiot.
Okay. What words are these? These are German words or German words, right?
Could be German or Jewish. I know
Jewish.
it.
Well, this man, and this is another thing why I'm mad at my mother, is because you allowed this motherfucker to come up in your domain with your 4 babies, calling us schmucks and Shizakov. Shitheads. We didn't know what that shit meant. But you was in a position to teach, nigga, and you didn't. For whatever reason, you felt that you didn't have to because you wasn't our daddy. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with you coming in on a woman with 4 kids, and we looking at Tarzan, and we looking at Tarzan getting his, beating up all the black motherfuckers on TV. Because that's what it was, right? Wasn't Tarzan beating up all the black people? Beating on his chest.
Didn't even belong there.
And but he in the jungle fighting with blacks. They got black people. He beating up, and we looking at it. Ah! And this man get mad at us, cuts the TV off, and stand us up against the wall, 2 inches from the wall, and tell us to stand there, calling us schmucks and Shizikoffs. We didn't know what that shit meant, but when I found out what it meant, I looked at you real fucked up. Cause you ain't. Why would you do that? And now we got to grow up and live in a household with a man who, if he loved us, he sure didn't show us. He didn't help us with no homework. He didn't walk us to school. I don't understand how people do that. I can't. I won't do it. Nobody's coming in, and especially if you're not going to show my kids love, you cannot love me and not love them or care about them enough to teach them something. If you didn't want us to root for Tarzan beating up the if you didn't want us to fucking know about that, if you didn't want us to laugh and happy about that shit, then that was a teaching moment for you. And you should have stepped down and taught us something about what we was watching. But no, you want to call us a schmuck. And you know what? I'm laughing because I'm laughing not to cry. Because I don't know how you allow people to do that to your loved ones. I don't care who you are.
That's right.
You're not coming up in here doing that. It don't feel right. It's not right. Don't sound right. And just because it was in a language that we didn't understand, we grow up. And we find out. And then we look at you stupid. Like, you couldn't come up with another word? So you tell me what that was about. What was that? What was that about? What was this man thinking? How you live in a 1-bedroom apartment and you put 4 kids in 1 bedroom? Look, and when I say this, I'm saying this because this is what's coming back to my memory. We live in a 1-bedroom apartment. You put us in the bedroom and you take a living room for you and your life. Okay? There's 3 closets. 2 of them are walk-in closets, and all of them was walk-in, but they were small. One was small, and then there was 2 big ones. Why you and your man each got a closet, and you put us 4 kids in a little ass closet? I don't understand that. Because you didn't want to go to the projects. So we lived in tenements. She didn't want to go to the projects. That's one good thing that I can say I didn't have to experience is the project syndrome, Could you imagine?
Right.
Because that's a whole nother monster beast in itself, living in that. But not to be loved by your mama, or not to be, for your mama to break your heart the way I feel my mama broke mine, and then for her to allow a man to move in on us and treat us in a non-loving manner. I can't. I hold you responsible. I hold you responsible for how I turned out and how I repressed so much. I was raped by a police officer.
You mean while you were a police officer in
While
New
I
York?
was a police officer out of the academy, Lance, he was supposed to be my boyfriend, but he took me to Left Rack City because he
I know
lived in
Left Rack City good. I'm a Queens guy. Oh
he lived
God.
he lived in Left Rack City, him and his family, and they had more than one apartment because his mama and his father lived someplace, and then his brother and them had apartments around. And we went to one of the brothers' apartment in Left Rack City. He was supposed to be my boyfriend. My mother knew him. I introduced him to, but it was right. We was in his apartment, and he said something, and I must have, what? I'm not doing it. And this nigga grabbed me by my throat, pulled me up by my neck on the wall with his hands around me and told me, don't you ever in your fucking life think that you can come against me because you're a cop. And I was like, I was looking at him and I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh, I got to get the fuck up out of here. How am I going to get up out of here? So I was like, I want to go home. I don't want to stay here. He said, you're not. And then they had like the locks. It was like a padded lock. It was, I don't know what kind of fucking apartment it was. But he began to want to have sex. And I was like, I'm not having sex. He said, you're fucking me tonight. Oh,
Damn.
you gon' fuck tonight. And that's exactly what he did. And in my mind, I was gone. I was not even there. All I can say is this nigga, if I ever get out of here, he will never see me again. And I took that shit with me all the way to rehab. And when I came back from rehab, it came out in one of my sessions. And the lady said, where is he at now? The female officer that was working with me through my recovery asked me, where is that man, that police officer at now? He worked in the 7-8. That's where he was NYPD, but I went to transit. But this man raped me. So ain't nobody loved Robin. Ain't nobody really loved me enough to know me. None of them. Because I really barely knew me. So how you gonna know me?
Wow.
But for people to do that to people, and then you internalize it because you think it's your fault that you did something. That's why you don't report. That's why you don't. I could have had his job. Like I could have had most of these motherfuckers' jobs for doing some of the shit they did to me. But when you naive and nobody is teaching you how to fight and stand all 10 toes down in your shit, but you need backup. You can't fight by yourself sometimes. But that's what I learned to do. I learned how to fight by myself. And it's been lonely fighting.
Imagine. Yeah.
It's really been lonely. That's why I had a failed marriage. Because, you do these things thinking that you getting a partner or you getting somebody that's gonna stand in your, in the trenches with you and shit. At least that's what I wanted. I don't know what everybody else fucking wanted. I wanted somebody to work with, somebody that was going to lead and I could follow, not lead me in the motherfucking to drown or lead me in the gut. Lead me someplace where we can
Leave you.
prosper.
Yeah. Leave you for dead.
You know, that's not what I want. And for the past since 2012, that's what I've been by myself. And I've learned how to cleanse myself totally, for real, mentally, emotionally. I'm cleansing inside and out. You know what? Lance? I
Mhm.
don't think half the men know what it really means to make love to a woman. Because it's an art.
I'd agree.
It's an art to it. And it ain't something that you're supposed to be rushing through just to get a feeling off. Or,
Right.
I mean, sometimes it could, that's okay. But the point, the root, the root of it, what it's supposed to really mean, is no way that you meet somebody today and in the bed with them tonight thinking you gonna get some, where you going?
It's just friction.
Where we going that's why when you open enough to receive that, it could be such a beautiful thing because that's why it only happened to me once. I was like, this shit is too good to be true. Cause it didn't happen. It didn't happen for me with none of them. And I'll be like, damn, what the? But when I told you I was approved, some girls told me that I was approved. They said, you 32 years old, you never had an orgasm. This is what you're going to do. They told me what to do to find out about Robin. At 32, 33 years old, I'm trying to learn what it is. What this orgasm thing, because I just didn't understand it.
You were messed up after that for a while.
I was so mad. I was so mad. I was like,
Man, that it took so many years for you to realize this feeling?
for real. But wait a minute. After the girls told me what to do, like, they told me to get a shower head and let the water. I was like, y'all crazy. They said, Robin, how do you have sex with the lights on or off?
Oh God.
I said, y'all act like y'all be swinging from chandeliers. They said, we do. I said, y'all crazy. I don't get down like that. They said, well, this one girl came the next day with a shower massage. She was determined to help me help myself.
A helping hand.
She was determined. I was like, these little girls. And they're younger than me. They looking at me like, you for real? Are you serious? And then after they told me that, that's when I met the married man. And at one time, I could not believe it. I was speaking in tongues. I was speaking alone. I couldn't even talk. I couldn't even do nothing. I was like, oh shit. I was like, fucking for real? And it only happened once.
Wait a second. Okay. I ain't trying to get up in your business. I'm saying you had that one. That was
Yeah,
it?
but I never had another one like that. Never. I haven't had one like that since.
You said like that.
I'm
Just
talking
never
about,
ever have another one, or like weaker
I know,
ones?
not from a man. I know how to do it by myself. I know how to, and even now, I can't even get there. I don't know how to have an orgasm because I think I done played myself out. I can't.
You
I
can't.
just
You
I
can't play.
just said,
You can't play
I'm
this.
gonna leave it alone because it's not working for me anymore. It did what it did for when I could use it, but now it's like I know and I know what to look for. And if it happened, it happened. If it don't, it don't. But I know now. I know today, and I can have a conversation with the whoever the who is gonna be when it happened again, if it happened again. Because I'm like I said, I ain't no telling. I ain't saying I don't know. My mother ain't never told me about sex after 60. I don't know what that is.
It's very much a real thing.
I don't know what it is. I'm like, shit, is people still doing this shit? I don't know. Cause I'm scared. I wouldn't know how to act. What I'm gonna do? I'll be scared as shit. But then I will have to, it will take a special somebody. For real. It's gonna take a special somebody. I don't know if he's out there or not, but it's gonna take a special somebody. Because I just cannot. I cannot waste my time. I cannot waste my time. It can't be for nothing. It just cannot be just to be doing stuff. Nope, not today.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Amazing. Wow. But this is what I'm gonna do, sweetheart. I got to make a run, and I want us to come back and continue, have some good conversation about life. That's what it's all about.
Well,
I'm into human nature and all those things. And
you
I
go
want
and
you to
have
have
it.
a few
Huh?
words to write it down. I want you to share a few words. I just want to say how much I appreciate you, and just leave some words for those who came for the title, topic, and just leave them with something that they can walk with.
I leave the collective with this. If any of you out listening feel like your mother has broken your heart, know that she probably don't even know that she's breaking your heart, because somebody broke hers too. And if you can get through it, trust your gut. Trust you. Trust you. Trust you. Because everything that you need to get through whatever loss or whatever neglect or whatever absence or whatever was causing pain in your life, it's within you to heal you. And all the tools you need is right with you. And know that the universe will give you exactly what you need when you're ready.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
And you, Lance, thank you for allowing me to come on your platform and go a little nuts, because that's what I feel like I did. But it's all good. It's all good. I'm not ashamed. I'm not. It is what
No,
it
but
is.
you weren't nutty or anything like that. You're just letting it flow.
I
See,
was
that's why I
let.
like to have real conversations and not unless a person's teaching something, but not
Mhm.
presentations and people trying to, just be real and talk. Let's talk.
Mhm.
Let's no jockeying and no, like Oprah. Who made the joke about Oprah? Oh, Paul Mooney made the joke about Oprah. Um, she was always into the whole "Can you top this?" And somebody said that their mother tried to abort them, and this is a joke, right?
Mhm.
And Oprah in this joke said, "Yes, yes, my mother tried to abort me too, but the coat hanger, I held on, I held on." Like it's your story, but you know, let's just be real and tell it like it is, and grow from it and be sincere about it. And that's what I appreciate about what you did today. And
Thank you.
yeah, so definitely want you to come back on. And we're going to talk about a whole lot of different things and still different aspects of it. Maybe something you missed. There's a point you missed. And we're going to come back, you know,
Whenever.
well,
I'm,
another week or so,
I,
give
I
you a little break. And
keep.
we'll do it.
Yeah, keep me posted. Let me know the topic. I'm ready.
Okay.
I got a whole bunch of topics in my little arsenal. I could pull
That's the
out
point.
a story that can come out the back pocket at the drop of a dime. It could it could be about the dog. It could be about the car. It could be about whatever. It could be about social media. It could be about whatever. But it's always something that I could say,
Right.
because I
Right.
think I lived a long enough life. I have experience. Okay, I have
Oh, yes, I
experience.
do. I
Okay,
know.
so I
Look,
know.
you made
I
it
know
over
what I
60
know.
and you're a
Yes.
New York City cop, grew up in New York City. What? So I know we know some of the same places, everything. So I'm with
Hmm.
you on that. And definitely, I'm going to be having a lot of group conversations coming up. A lot, a lot. So many people that are going to get involved in it, and we're going to do it. So much new type of content. Like I said, I might start doing 3 shows a day. I don't know, but
And
yeah, we're just going to keep it flowing because the place that I'm in now, mentally,
hmm
it's all flowing. You know what I mean? The best
yeah,
is yet to come.
yeah. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. That when you know that,
Hmm.
when you feel that the best is yet to come.
That's right.
Yeah.
And one thing's for sure, trust me, you'll have many orgasms in the future. It's
I
just not
don't
time
know.
yet.
I don't know. I be, I'll be like, I think it's I'm a done. I'm done. And I was cheated. I was cheated. I've been cheated through this whole sex orgasm bullshit. I was cheated. I want to slap every nigga that was up in here. You nigga, you ain't did shit. You ain't did shit. You ain't tried to rock me. You ain't tried to do none of
Oh
that. What
man.
was you did? What did you do? What you
No, but
do?
look, listen, this is what's going to happen, right? In the past, you felt cheated, but in the future, you will be treated. And you laugh at those other ones that couldn't do anything because the ones who could, trust me, you'll be all right. And you'll make up for it. It's like tax returns. You think you're not going to get it, you keep looking for the check. It's going to come, and you
Hey,
will too. On
I'm a
that
cash
note,
and I'm a cash. And
uh,
on that note, we gonna
thank
let
you,
each other go.
sweetheart.
I share
Hmm.
with
I will
power.
give you a call.
All right.
Thank you so much. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks for everybody in the chat room. Even I had multiple screens up, didn't see it. And like I said, you know, walk with the words that she shared. You might have been in a similar situation, but the bottom line, you can overcome, and life can be great again, and the sun will shine. And everything that you didn't get, you'll be fulfilled. Maybe not that way, but in a different way. You'll all have it. So anyway, another episode of Lancescurv. Again, if you don't see us on social media, go to lancescurv.com. 22 and a half years of content every single day. All right. And we're going to keep doing it several times a day. And we're going to ride out like that because we have the time to do it. Thanks for the support. And what can I say? On to the next one. And that might be soon, all night long. Much love to you all. Peace.